The mist clung low to the earth in the village of Eldamore, a cluster of stone cottages nestled at the edge of a dense forest. Zianya Varnith stood at the threshold of her modest home, her breath visible in the chill dawn air. Her dark hair, streaked with premature silver, was pulled into a tight braid, and her amber eyes scanned the horizon for any sign of trouble. 6 years ago, she had faked her death to escape the Varkus pack and her cruel mate, Alpha Tauren. Now, she lived for her twin sons, Kelix and Zevrin, who slept soundly within. Zianya adjusted the woven shawl around her shoulders and stepped onto the dew-slick path. The village was quiet, save for the distant crow of a rooster and the soft clatter of her neighbor, old Marwyn, tending his herb garden. She nodded to him as she passed, her smile practiced but warm. Eldamore was a sanctuary, a place where no one asked too many questions, but Zianya never let her guard down. The Varkus pack's reach was long, and her secrets were heavy. Inside, Kelix stirred first, his tousled black hair sticking up as he rubbed sleep from his eyes. At 6, he was bold and restless, always the first to leap into action. "Mama, can we go to the river today?" he asked, voice thick with sleep as he tugged on his boots. Zianya knelt beside him, smoothing his hair. "Maybe, if you and Zevrin finish your chores, but you stay close, understand?" No wondering Kelix grinned, all teeth and mischief. "Always close. Zeverin's the one who gets lost in his head." Zevrin, still curled under a blanket, mumbled, "I don't get lost. I just see things." His eyes, a softer shade of amber than his mother's, flickered open. He was quieter than Kelix, with an uncanny knack for sensing what others missed. Zianya often caught him staring into the distance, as if listening to whispers only he could hear. She ruffled Zevrin's hair. "Up, both of you, breakfast first. Then we'll talk about the river." As Zianya prepared a meal of porridge and dried berries, her thoughts drifted to the dream that had haunted her sleep. A wolf with Tauren's piercing blue eyes had stalked her through a burning forest, its growl echoing with promises of vengeance. She shook off the memory, focusing on the twins' chatter. "Mama, why can't we run like the other kids?" Kelix asked, spoon halfway to his mouth. "I'm faster than anyone, but you always say to hide it." Zianya's heart clenched. She had taught them to suppress their wolf trait speed, strength, the urge to shift lest they draw attention. "Because being special means being careful," she said, her voice steady. "You're stronger than most, but strength can make people curious." Zevrin tilted his head. "Curious, like the man who watched us at the market last week." Zianya froze, her grip tightening on the wooden spoon. "What man?" "He had a scar on his cheek," Zevrin said softly. "He smelled sharp, like metal and smoke." Kelix frowned. "I didn't see him. Why didn't you tell me?" "You were too busy stealing apples," Zevrin teased, but his eyes stayed on Zianya. "He's gone now, Mama, I think." Zianya forced a smile, though her pulse raced. "Good, but you tell me right away if you see anyone like that again, all right?" The twins nodded, and the morning passed in a blur of chore sweep and the hearth, fetching water, mending clothes. But Zianya's unease lingered. That night, as she tucked the boys into bed, she lingered at the window, her gaze fixed on the forest's edge. The dream's warning echoed in her mind, and she wondered if Eldamore's peace was about to shatter far to the south. In the heart of Varkus-packed territory, Alpha Tauren Varkus stood atop a stone outcrop, surveying his domain. The pack's stronghold sprawled below a fortress of timber and iron, surrounded by jagged cliffs and a river that roared like a living beast. At 32, Torin was a towering figure, his broad shoulders draped in a cloak of black wolf fur, his blue eyes cold as glacier ice. His rule was ironclad, forged through blood and cunning. But the scar across his heart, left by Zyanya's death, still ached in the great hall. Torin met with his council, grizzled warriors, scouts, and Silvara, his ambitious beta. The air was thick with tension, the pack restless after a skirmish with rogues. Torin leaned against his throne, carved from the bones of a rival alpha, and listened as his scout, Gavrik, reported. "The rogues are scattered, my lord," Gavrik said, his scar-twisted face grim. "But there's another matter. A woman in Eldamore, north of the Black Pine Forest. Dark hair, amber eyes. She matches the description of her." Torin's fingers tightened on the armrest. "Zyanya is dead," he said, voice low and dangerous. "You saw her body, Gavrik, burned in the raid." Gavrik hesitated. "I know, Alpha, but the villagers speak of a newcomer who keeps to herself. Arrived 6 years ago, after the raid. It could be coincidence, but coincidence," Silvara interrupted, her voice smooth as venom. She was lithe and striking, her silver hair braided with beads of bone. "Or a ghost come to haunt us. If Zyanya lives, she's a threat to your rule, Toron. She abandoned you, humiliated the pack." Toron's jaw clenched. Zyanya had been his mate, chosen by the moon's bond, but their union had been stormy. Her defiance clashed with his need for control, and when she died in a rogue attack, he'd buried his grief in conquest. Yet the bond lingered, a faint pulse he could never sever. "Enough," Torin said, standing. "Gavrik, take 2. Scouts and confirm this woman's identity. If it's Zyanya," he paused, his voice softening, "bring her to me, alive." Gavrik bowed. "And if she resists?" Torin's eyes darkened. "She won't, not if she values her life." Silvara watched Torin closely, her lips curving. "A wise choice, Alpha. The pack needs a strong Luna, not a runaway. The Luna trials are coming, and I intend to prove my worth." Torin barely acknowledged her, his mind on Zyanya. Silvara's ambition was useful, but her jealousy was a blade that cut both ways. As the council dispersed, he lingered in the hall, staring at a tapestry of the pack's history. Zyanya's face, woven in threads of gold, seemed to mock him. If she lived, he would have answers and she would have nowhere left to run. The river sparkled under the midday sun, its current swift but shallow enough for the twins to wade. Zyanya sat on a flat rock, mending a fishing net, while Kelix and Zevran splashed nearby. She kept one eye on them, her nerves taut since Zevran's mention of the scarred man. Eldamore felt smaller today, its borders porous. Kelix darted through the water, chasing a minnow. "Gotcha," he crowed, holding up empty hands. "Almost anyway." Zevran, sitting cross-legged on a pebble bank, rolled his eyes. "You scare them all away, Kelix. You're too loud, I'm not." Kelix splashed water at his brother, who yelped and retaliated. Zyanya smiled, but her gaze flicked to the tree line. A rustle in the underbrush made her tense, but it was only a deer, its eyes wide before it bolted. "Boys, stay where I can see you," she called, her voice sharper than intended. Kelix grinned. "We're right here, Mama. Relax." But smile faded. He stood, brushing wet sand from his knees, and stared into the forest. "Kelix, hush," he whispered. "Something's wrong." Zyanya dropped the net and crossed to him, What do you feel, Zev? He frowned, his small face tight. It's like a bad wolf watching us. Not the Scar Man, but someone. Zianya's blood ran cold. She scanned the trees, her wolf senses straining. The air carried a faint tank of metal and Smokesovrin's sharp smell. Kelix, come here, she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. Kelix obeyed, grumbling. What's wrong? I was about to catch a fish. Quiet, Zianya said, pulling both boys close. We're going home, now. They hurried back to the village, Zianya's hand firm on their shoulders. At the cottage, she barred the door and checked the windows. The twins watched, wide-eyed. Mama, who's out there? Kelix asked, his bravado faltering. Zianya knelt before them. Maybe no one, but we have to be careful. You're special, both of you, and some people. They don't like special. Zevrin's lip trembled. Because of our wolves. Zianya hesitated, then nodded. Yes, but I'll keep you safe, always. That evening, Kelix grew restless, pacing the small room. I could have fought that bad wolf, he muttered. I'm strong, Mama, you said so. Zianya sighed, setting down her sewing. Strength isn't just fighting, Kelix. It's knowing when to stay hidden. Promise me you won't go looking for trouble. Kelix crossed his arms. Fine, but if they come here, I won't hide. Zevrin, curled by the hearth, looked up. They're coming, Mama. I saw it in my dream, a big wolf with blue eyes. Zianya's heart stopped. Tauren, she forced calm into her voice. Dreams aren't always true, Zev. Get to bed, both of you. But as the twins slept, Zianya sat by the fire, a dagger in her lap. Zevrin's dreams were never just dreams. 2 days later, Gavrik arrived in Eldamore, his cloak dusty from the road. He kept his hood low, the scar on his cheek hidden, and took a seat at the village tavern. The locals eyed him warily, but Coin bought ale and loose tongues. By dusk, he'd learned of the woman called Zianya, who lived with 2 boys and rarely spoke of her past. Gavrik lingered near her cottage that night, crouching in the shadows. Through a gap in the shutters, he saw Zianya reading to her sons, her face softened by firelight. The boys were identical, save for their expressions, one bold, one pensive. Gavrik's orders were clear. Confirm her identity, report back. But curiosity held him fast. If this was Zianya, why had she fled? And whose children were these? Inside, Zianya sensed a shift in the air. She closed the book A Tale of Starwolf's End, sent the twins to bed. Stay in your room, she whispered, her hand on the dagger at her belt. She stepped outside, her senses sharp. Show yourself, she called softly, her voice carrying into the dark. Gavrik froze, then stepped forward, hands raised. Easy, lady. I mean no harm. Zianya's eyes narrowed. You're Varkas. I smell the pack on you. Gavrik's scar twitched. You're quick. I'm just a traveler, asking questions. Travelers don't skulk, Zianya said, her grip tightening. Who sent you, Gavrik? Weighed his words. No one, but a woman like you, alone with 2 boys. It draws notice. The Varkas pack lost someone years ago. You fit her description. Zianya's blood roared. That woman's dead. Tell your Alpha to leave ghosts alone. Gavrik studied her, then nodded. I'll pass the message, but he don't give up easy. He backed away, melting into the trees. Zianya waited until his scent faded, then returned inside, her hands shaking. She checked on the twins, who slept soundly, unaware of the threat. At dawn, she sought Marwin, the village herbalist, who'd become a quiet ally. "Troubles come," she told him, her voice low. "Avaki's scout more will follow." Marwin's weathered face creased. "You've kept your boys safe this long, Zyanya. What's your plan?" "I don't know," she admitted. "Running again, it might not be enough." Marwin handed her a pouch of herbs. "For sleep or courage, whatever you need, Eldamore stands with you." Zyanya nodded, grateful but burdened. She returned home, her mind racing. Torin was coming, and she had to be ready. The forest was alive with dusk's chorus crickets, owls, the rustle of leaves when Erinder found Zyanya. He emerged from the trees like a shadow, his lean frame clad in patched leather, his green eyes sharp with urgency. A rogue werewolf, Erinder had crossed paths with Zyanya years ago, offering protection in exchange for her silence about his own past. "Zyanya," he said, his voice low, "we need to talk." She stood at the edge of her garden, a basket of root vegetables at her feet. The twins were inside, practicing knots under Marwin's watch. "Erinder," she greeted, wary, "you look like you've run from a storm." "Worse," he said, glancing over his shoulder. "Torin's hunting you. His scout, Gavrik, was in Eldamore last night. I trailed him. He's gone south, but he'll report your location." Zyanya's stomach twisted. "I know, he found me. Said I fit a description." Erinder cursed. "Torin's obsessed. He's stronger now, Zyanya. The Varkis pack's bigger, meaner. If he finds you, he won't," she snapped, then softened. "What do you suggest? Run again? Uproot the boys?" Erinder ran a hand through his dark hair. "Running's no good. He'll track you. You need to stand your ground, maybe find allies. There's a neutral pack east of here, led by an elder called Neve. She's fair, owes me a favor." Zyanya hesitated. "And if Turan attacks them for sheltering us?" "He won't," Erinder said. "Navara's pack is small but cunning. Torin's not stupid enough to start a war." Zyanya set the basket down, her mind churning. "Why help me, Erinder? You've got your own ghosts." He smirked, but his eyes were haunted. "Let's say I know what it's like to run from a pack. You and those boys. You're worth saving." She studied him, then nodded. "All right, I'll think on Navara, but I'm not leaving yet. The boys need stability, and I need time." "Time's short," Erinder warned. "Train those boys, Zyanya. They're young, but they're wolves. If Torin comes, they'll need to fight or flee." Inside, Kelix overheard the last words, his ear pressed to the door. He glanced at Zevran, who was untangling a rope with Marwin. "Zev," he whispered, "someone's after us. We gotta be ready." Zevran's eyes widened. "What did you hear?" "Enough," Kelix said, his jaw set. "Mama's scared, but I'm not. I'll protect you." Marwin cleared his throat. "Eavesdropping, lads. Come, finish these knots. Your mother's handling things." But Kelix's resolve hardened, and Zevran's gaze drifted to the window, where the forest loomed like a waiting beast. Zyanya, standing with Erinder, felt the weight of their future. Torin was a storm on the horizon, and she would do anything to keep her sons from its wrath. The Varkis pack's stronghold was a fortress of shadow and stone, its torches casting flickering light across the great hall. Alpha Torin Varkis paced. Before his throne, a massive seat carved from the bones of a fallen rival. His black wolf fur cloak trailed behind him, and his blue eyes burned with a restless intensity. The council had dispersed hours ago, but Torin's mind churned with Gavrik's report. Zianya was alive, hidden in Eldamore with 2 boys. The news had cracked open a wound he thought long buried. Silvara lingered near the hearth, her silver hair gleaming as she poured wine into a goblet. "You're brooding again, Alpha," she said, her voice smooth but edged with calculation. "This woman Zananya, if it is her, means nothing. A runaway who shamed you. Why waste your strength on her?" Torin stopped pacing, his gaze pinning. "Her, you speak freely, Silvara. Too freely." She didn't flinch, offering him the goblet. "I speak as your beta. The pack needs a Luna, not a ghost. The Luna trials will prove who's worthy." Her lips curved, hinting at her own ambitions. Torin ignored the wine, crossing to a tapestry depicting the pack's triumphs. Zianya's likeness, woven in gold thread, stared back at him. "She was my mate," he said, almost to himself. "The bond it never broke. If she lives, I need to know why she fled." Silvara's smile tightened. "A weak mate abandons her Alpha. You're stronger without her. And those boys Gavrik mentioned, bastards, likely, no threat to your line." Torin's hand clenched into a fist. "Enough. Summon Gavrik. I want details." Silvara bowed, her eyes glinting with resentment, and left to fetch the scout. Moments later, Gavrik entered, his scarred face wary. "Alpha," he said, kneeling, "you called." "Tell me everything," Torin demanded, leaning against the throne. "The woman, the boys, leave nothing out." Gavrik rose, his voice steady. "The woman's called Zianya in Eldamore. Dark hair, amber eyes, keeps to herself. The boys, about 6. One's bold, dark-haired, like her. The other's quieter, with a strange way about him. They're hers, no doubt. I saw her with them, protective as a she-wolf." Torin's pulse quickened. Twins, 6 years. He calculated silently, the timeline aligning with Zianya's disappearance after the rogue raid. Their father, Gavrik, hesitated. No talk of a man in Eldamore. She's alone. But the boys, they've got a wolf's scent, Alpha, strong, even suppressed. Torin's jaw tightened. Zianya's children, possibly his. The thought ignited a storm of pride, fury, and longing. "You spoke to her, Gavrik said. She knew I was Varkas. Told me the woman you seek is dead. She's sharp. Alpha won't go down easy." Torin dismissed Gavrik with a nod, his mind racing. Silvara reinterred, sensing his mood. "What now, my lord? Will you drag her back to grovel?" "No," Torin said, his voice cold. "I'll go myself. Prepare a small, party-trusted wolves only. We ride for Eldamore at dawn." Silvara's eyes narrowed. "And the lunar trials? The pack expects you to oversee preparations." "They'll wait," Torin snapped. "This is personal." As Silvara left to carry out his orders, Torin stared into the hearth's flames. Zianya had defied him, faked her death, and hidden his heirs if the boys were his. He would find her, and she would answer for every year of silence. In Eldamore, the village square buzzed with the weekly market. Zianya wove through stalls of bread, wool, and trinkets, her basket heavy with supplies. Kelix and Zevrin trailed her, their eyes darting to a juggler tossing apples. Zianya kept them close, her senses alert since Gavrik's visit. Erinda's warning echoed in her mind. Torin was coming. "Mama, can we get honey cakes?" Kelix asked, tugging her sleeve. "If you behave," Zianya said, ruffling his hair. "Severin, stay with your brother." Severin nodded, but his gaze lingered on a stranger at the market's edgier cloaked figure buying bread. "He smells like the bad wolf," he whispered. Zianya followed his gaze, her heart racing. The man was no Varka's scout, but his presence unnerved her. "Stay here," she told the twins, approaching Marwin's herb stall. "Trouble?" Marwin asked, his weathered hands sorting thyme. "Maybe," Zianya said, keeping her voice low. "A stranger." Zeverin's uneasy. "Any news from the roads?" Marwin frowned. "Travelers say the Varkas pack's stirring. Talk of a lunar trials. Some contest to pick their alpha's mate. Sounds bloody." Zianya's blood chilled. The lunar trials, a brutal tradition she'd hoped Torin had abandoned. "When soon," Marwin said, words spreading fast. "Draws ambitious types, like moths to flame." Zianya glanced at the twins, who were bartering with a baker. The trials meant Torin's attention would be split, but they also drew wolves from far and wide. Eldamore wasn't safe anymore. She thanked Marwin and returned to the boys, her mind made up. She needed to act before Torin's net tightened. That evening, as Zianya cooked stew, a knock startled her. She gripped her dagger, but it was only Erinder, his face grim. "News," he said, stepping inside. "Torin's left the stronghold. He's headed here with a small party." Asterisk, asterisk. Zianya's breath caught. "How long?" 2 days, maybe 3, Erinder said. "You need to decide, run or fight." Kelix, eavesdropping from the hearth, stood. "We're not running, Mama. I can help." Zianya's eyes softened. "Kelix, this isn't a game. Go check on Zevrin." He sulked, but obeyed, leaving Zianya with Erinder. "Navara's pack," she said. "You mentioned them. Can they shelter us?" Erinder nodded. "They're east, in the Mistvale. Navara's wise, and her wolves are loyal. But you'll need to move fast." Zianya hesitated, glancing at the twins' toys by the fire. "I need time to prepare the boys. Tomorrow we start training. They're young, but they're wolves." Erinder's gaze was steady. "Good. I'll scout the roads. Keep an eye on Torin's party. You focus on them." As Erinder left, Zianya sat by the fire, her resolve hardening. The lunar trials loomed, and Torin's shadow grew closer. She would protect her sons, no matter the cost. Dawn painted Eldamore's fields in gold as Zianya led Kelix and Zevrin to a clearing beyond the village. The twins carried small packs, their faces a mix of excitement and nerves. Zianya had spent the night planning. If Toron was coming, her sons needed to harness their wolf instincts, not suppress them. She'd chosen this spot ringed by oaks, far from prying eyes for their first lesson. "All right," Zianya said, dropping her own pack. "Today, we're learning to be wolves, not just boys." Kelix grinned, bouncing on his toes. "Finally, can we shift? Run fast." Zevrin bit his lip. "What if I can't? My wolf. It feels different." Zianya knelt, meeting his eyes. "Your wolf is special, Zev. We'll find its strength together. Kelix, you too. No rushing." She started with senses, teaching them to sharpen their hearing and scent. "Close your eyes," she said. "What do you smell?" Kelix sniffed. "Grass, dirt, and Marwin's bread baking." Zevrin tilted his head. Something sharp, like metal, far away. Zianya tensed, scanning the forest, but saw nothing. "Good," she said, keeping her voice calm. "Now, listen. Tell me what you hear." The twins focused, and Zianya guided them through tracking sounds. Skrills, scamper, a distant stream. Kelix excelled, his boldness driving him to pinpoint details. Severin struggled, distracted by an inner hum he couldn't name. "It's like a song," he said, frowning. "In my head, it's loud." Zyanya's heart skipped. Pack magic. Rare and unpredictable. She'd sensed it in Severin before, but hoped it would stay dormant. "That's your wolf talking," she said gently. "We'll work on it. For now, let's move." She taught them to move silently, mimicking her steps through the underbrush. Kelix took to it eagerly, while Severin stumbled, his mind elsewhere. By noon, they were sweaty but proud. "Mama, I'm a hunter now," Kelix declared, brandishing a stick like a spear. Zyanya laughed. "Not yet, but you're learning. Severin, you did well too." Severin smiled faintly. "I saw something. In my head, a big wolf, blue eyes, angry." Zyanya's smile faded. "Oh, dream." "No," Severin said. "It's coming." She pulled him close, hiding her fear. "We'll be ready. Let's head back." At the cottage, Marwyn waited with news. "A trader passed through," he said. "Said Varkas wolves were spotted near Blackpine, asking about a woman and twins." Zyanya nodded, her jaw tight. "Thank you, Marwyn. Keep the village alert." As night fell, she tucked the twins into bed, their questions endless. "Who's after us?" Mama Kelix asked. "Old trouble," Zyanya said. "But I'll handle it. Sleep now." Alone, she sharpened her dagger, Severin's vision haunting her. Torin was close, and her plan train prepared. Possibly Flea felt fragile against his wrath. The forest north of Eldamore was a maze of pine and shadow, its floor damp with recent rain. Zyanya moved swiftly, her bow slung across her back, tracking a deer for the village's stores. She'd left the twins with Marwyn, insisting they stay indoors. Erinder was scouting, but his absence gnawed at her. The air felt charged, like the calm before a storm. A twig snapped behind her, and Zyanya spun, arrow knocked. 3 wolves emerged Varkas scouts, their scents sharp with metal and smoke. The leader, a wiry man with a crooked nose, raised his hands. "Easy, lady," he said. "We're just passing through." Zyanya's eyes narrowed. "Varkas, don't pass through. What do you want?" The leader smirked. "Heard there's a woman here, fits a certain look. Alpha Torin's curious. Tell Torin his curiosities." "Misplaced," Zyanya said, her voice steel. "I'm no one." The scouts exchanged glances. A second wolf, burly with a shaved head, stepped forward. "You're bold, but bold don't mean safe. Come with us, nice and quiet." Zyanya loosed her arrow, grazing his shoulder. He roared, and the third scout lunged, shifting mid-stride into a grey wolf. Zyanya dodged, drawing her dagger, and slashed. His flank, the leader hesitated, then whistled, calling off the attack. "Your trouble," he said, backing away. "But Torin's coming. You can't run forever." They retreated, leaving Zyanya breathless. She retrieved her arrow, her hands steady despite her racing heart. The deer was long gone, but she'd found something worse, confirmation. Torin's net was closing. She returned to Eldamore at dusk, finding Erinder at her cottage. "Trouble?" he asked, noting her grim expression. "Varkas scouts," she said, setting her bow down. 3. They know I'm here," Erinder cursed. "Torin's party's a day out. I saw their camp. He's with them." Cyanya's stomach twisted. "I fought them off, but they'll report back. We need to move." Kelix, overhearing, burst from the doorway. "You fought wolves. Mama, let me help." Zyanya knelt, gripping his shoulders. Kelix, listen. You help by staying safe, understand? He nodded reluctantly, and Zevran appeared, clutching a toy wolf. I saw them, he whispered. In my head, they found my bear. Zianya frowned. Kelix's carved bear, left in the forest during yesterday's training. Show me, she, said Zevran, pointed to a vision only he saw, and Zianya realized the scouts had a scent to track. She turned to Erinda. We leave tomorrow. Mistvale, Navarra's pack. Erinda nodded. I'll cover your trail. Get the boys ready. As night fell, Zianya packed, her resolve steeling. Toran's scouts were a warning, and she wouldn't wait for the storm to break. Toran's camp was a cluster of tents in the black pine forest, its fires casting long shadows. He sat by the largest blaze, sharpening his blade when the scouts returned. The leader, Crooked Nose, bore a bruised ego, and the burly one nursed a bandaged shoulder. Report, Toran said, not looking up. Crooked Nose cleared his throat. We found her, Alpha, north of Eldamore. Dark hair, amber eyes, fights like a demon. Shot Bren here with an arrow. Toran's blade stilled. Zianya I, Crooked Nose said. She's bold, told us you're chasing ghosts. But we found this. He held out Kelix's carved bear, its wood scratched but intact. Toran took it, his fingers tracing the crude shape. The scent hit him Volf, young and unmistakably tied to Zianya, his blood. The boys, he said, voice low. You saw them. Not close, Crooked Nose admitted. But she's protective. They're hers, Alpha, and they're wolves. Toran stood, the bear clenched in his fist. She hid them, my sons. The words tasted of fury and pride. Zianya had stolen 6 years, raised his heirs in secret. Where is she now? Eldamore Crooked Nose said. But she's slippery, might run. She won't, Toran said, his eyes blazing. We move at dawn. I want her found, alive, the boys too. As the scouts dispersed, Silvara approached, her presence unbidden. She'd insisted on joining the party, citing pack loyalty. You're certain, Alpha? She asked, eyeing the bear. Those boys could be anyone's. Toran's glare silenced her. They're mine, I feel it. Silvara's lips thinned, and Zianya, what's she to you now? A traitor who'll weaken your rule. Toran turned away, staring into the fire. She's my mate. I'll decide her fate when I see her. Silvara retreated, her mind scheming. Zianya's return threatened her plans for the lunar trials, and the twins were a complication. She needed leverage, and fast. Toran gripped the bear, its scent grounding him. Tomorrow he would face Zianya. She'd hidden his sons, defied his bond, and he would make her answer for it all. The Varkas pack's camp buzzed with tension under the pre-dawn sky, the air thick with pine and the acrid scent of burning pitch. Silvara stood at the edge of the encampment, her silver hair catching the firelight as she watched Toran clutch the carved bear, his face a mask of obsession. She'd overheard his exchange with Crooked Nose, the scout, and the words my sons had struck her like a blade. Zianya's return was a threat, but the twins' potential heirs could unravel her carefully laid plans for the lunar trials. Silvara slipped into her tent, where her confidant, a wiry she-wolf named Lysira, waited. Lysira's sharp eyes glinted. With loyalty and cunning, her role as Silvara's shadow ensuring secrets stayed buried. You look like you've swallowed a thorn, Lysira said, sharpening a dagger. What's Toran done now? Silvara's lips curled. He's found her, Zianya, and 2 boys, likely his. He's riding to Eldamore at dawn, blind to everything but her. Lysira paused, her blade still boy's heirs. That complicates things. Complicates, Silvara snapped, pacing the cramped tent. It ruins everything I've bled for. This pack clawed my way to Beta. The lunar trials were my chance to be his Luna, to rule beside him. Now he's chasing a traitor and her brats. Lysira leaned back, thoughtful. If the boys are his, they're a threat to your claim. The pack won't follow a Luna if Torrhen's bloodline's at stake. Exactly, Silvara said, her voice low. Zyanya's a ghost who should have stayed dead. And those boys, they're pawns, nothing more. I need them gone. Lysira raised an eyebrow. Gone, how? Torrhen's protective of what's his. Silvara's smile was cold. Accidents happen. The forest is dangerous. Rogues, cliffs, rivers. If Zyania and her sons vanish, Torrhen will grieve, but he'll move on. The trials will demand it. Lysira nodded slowly. You need allies. The scouts won't betray Torrhen, but there's a rogue band near Mistvale. I've dealt with them before. For coin, they'd do anything. Silvara's eyes gleamed. Contact them. Tell them to watch Eldamore. If Zahanya runs, they intercept. Her, no killing yet. I want her alive long enough to see her lose everything. Lysira stood, tucking her dagger away. And Torrhen, if he suspects you, he won't, Silvara said. I'll be the loyal Beta, grieving his loss. Now go, time's short. As Lysira slipped into the night, Silvara returned to the fire, where Torrhen still stood, the bear. In his hand, she softened her expression, approaching. Alpha, you're troubled. Share the burden, I'm here. Torrhen glanced at her, his eyes distant. You wouldn't understand, Silvara. This is personal. Her jaw tightened, but she bowed. As you wish. I'll ensure the party's ready for dawn. Torrhen nodded, dismissing her. Silvara retreated, her mind racing. Zyania and her sons were obstacles, and she would clear them, whatever the cost, in Eldamore. The morning sun filtered through Zyania's cottage, casting long shadows across the wooden floor. Zyania packed a satchel with essentials food, clothes, a map to Mistvale, while Kelix and Zevran watched, their faces tense. The twins had sensed her urgency since the scouts' attack, and Kelix's restlessness was palpable. He paced by, the hearth, kicking at a loose floorboard. Mama, why can't we fight? Kelix asked, his voice sharp. You fought those wolves. I'm strong too. Zionia paused, tying a bundle of dried meat. Kelix, you're 6. Strength isn't enough against grown wolves. I'm not scared, he insisted, crossing his arms. Zevran saw the bad wolf in his dreams. I can protect him. Zevran, sitting cross-legged with his toy wolf, looked up. I don't need protecting, Kelix, but I saw the blue-eyed wolf again. He's close. Zyania's heart sank. She knelt before them, her amber eyes steady. Listen, both of you. We're leaving for Mistvale today, to a safe pack. But you need to stay close and do exactly as I say. No running off. Kelix scowled. Running's hiding. I'm not a coward. Zyania gripped his shoulders. Courage isn't just fighting, Kelix. It's keeping your brother safe, keeping us together. Promise me you'll listen. He hesitated, then nodded grudgingly. Fine, but I'm not scared. Zevran tugged her sleeve. Mama, what if the blue-eyed wolf finds us? She forced a smile. He won't. We'll be faster. A knock interrupted them. Marwyn, his face etched with worry. Zianya, a villager, saw riders on the south road. Varka's cloaks. They're close. Zianya's pulse quickened. How many? 5, maybe 6, Marwyn said. You need to. Go now, she nodded, turning to the twins. Grab your packs, we're leaving. As they prepared, Kelix slipped outside, ignoring Zianya's call. He darted to the edge of the village, climbing a low hill to scan the horizon. Dust rose on the south road, and he glimpsed cloaked figures. Torrent's party. His heart raced with defiance. He could warn Zianya, prove he wasn't just a kid. Kelix Erinda's voice hissed from the trees. The rogue grabbed his arm, pulling him down. What are you doing, boy? Trying to get caught. Kelix yanked free. I saw them, the bad wolves. I can help, Mama. Erinda's green eyes narrowed. You'll help by staying put. Those are Varkas wolves, and they'll skin you alive. Back to your mother, now. Kelix glared, but obeyed, sprinting to the cottage. Zianya was waiting, her face pale. Kelix, I told you to stay inside. I saw them, he blurted. Riders, coming fast. Zianya exchanged a look with Erinda, who'd followed. We move now, she said. Erinda, lead the way to Mistvale. Erinda nodded. Stick to the river path. I'll scout ahead. As they fled the cottage, Kelix clutched Severin's hand, his defiance tempered by fear. Zianya's resolve held them together, but Torrent's shadow loomed closer. The river path to Mistvale was a winding trail through dense forest, its banks slick with moss. Zianya led the twins, her bow ready, while Erinda scouted ahead. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and pine, but Zevrin's quiet unease set Zianya's nerves on edge. He clung to her hand, his amber eyes distant, as if seeing beyond. The trees, Zev. Stay with me, Zianya said softly, adjusting her pack. We're almost to the ridge. Zevrin nodded, but his voice was small. It's loud again, Mama. The song in my head. Kelix, trudging beside them, frowned. What song? You keep saying that. It's not a song like singing, Zevrin said, struggling for words. It's pictures. Fire and blood, and a big wolf with blue eyes. He's angry. Zianya stopped, kneeling before him. Another vision. Tell me everything. Zevrin's lip trembled. There's a place with stones, like a circle. Wolves are fighting, and there's a lady with silver hair. She wants to hurt us and the blue-eyed wolf. He's looking for you. Zianya's blood ran cold. The stone circle sounded like the Varkas Pack's ritual grounds used for the lunar trials. The silver-haired woman could only be Silvera. Did you see anything else? Where we were, Zevrin shook his head. Just fire. And the song got louder when we left the village. Kelix kicked a rock. I don't get it. Wise, Zev, seeing stuff. I'm his twin, and I don't see anything. Zianya touched Kelix's shoulder. You're both special, just different. Zeverin's wolf has magic, maybe. We'll figure it out. Erinda emerged from the trees, his face grim. Riders are closing in, half a mile back. We need to move faster. Zianya stood, her jaw tight. Can we reach Mistvale before they catch us? If we push hard, Erinda said. There's a ravine ahead narrow, good for losing them. Follow me. They hurried on, the twins struggling to keep pace. Zevrin stumbled, and Zianya caught him. I'm sorry, Mama, he whispered. The song's making me dizzy. It's all right, she said, lifting him briefly. Hold on to me. Kelix grabbed Zevran's pack. I'll carry it. You're slow enough already. Zevran managed a weak smile. Thanks, Kelix. As they reached the ravine, Zyanya heard hoofbeats behind them. She glanced back, spotting Toran's party through the trees. Erinda, take the boys, she said, nocking an arrow. Slow them. No, Erinda said, grabbing her arm. You're their mother. I'll hold them off. Get to Navarra. Zyanya hesitated, then nodded. Be careful, Erinda grinned, his eyes fierce. Always am. As Zyanya led the twins into the ravine, Zevran's vision lingered in her mind. The lunar trials were coming, and her sons were already entangled in their deadly web. The Mistvale Pack's territory was a hidden valley, its entrance veiled by mist and guarded by ancient oaks. Zyanya and the twins reached it at dusk, exhausted, but unharmed. Erinda had promised to rejoin them after delaying Toran's party, but his absence gnawed at Zyanya. She guided Kelix and Zevran through a narrow pass, where two Mistvale wolves lean, wary sentries met them. State your purpose, the taller sentry, a woman named Thalira, said, her hand on a spear. I'm Zyanya, she said, keeping. The twins behind her. Erinda sent us. We seek Navarra's protection. Thalira studied her, then nodded. Follow. She's expecting you. The Mistvale camp was a cluster of tents and wooden shelters, lit by lanterns that glowed like fireflies. Navarra, an elder with braided grey hair and eyes like polished obsidian, waited by a central fire. Her presence was calm but commanding. Her wolf aura, subtle yet powerful. Zyanya Navarra said, her voice warm. Erinda spoke of you. Welcome to Mistvale. Zyanya bowed slightly. Thank you. These are my sons, Kelix and Zevran. We're running from the Varkas pack. Navarra's gaze softened as she looked at the twins. Come, sit. You're safe here for now. They settled by the fire, and Kelix, ever bold, spoke first. Are you a queen? Your camp's like a story. Navarra chuckled. No queen, young one, just an elder who listens to the moon. And you, Zevran, you're quiet. What do you see? Zevran blinked, surprised. How do you know? Your eyes, Navarra said. They carry the old. Magic, tell me. Zevran glanced at Zyanya, who nodded. I see. Pictures. Fire, a stone circle, a wolf with blue eyes, and a lady with silver hair who hates us. Navarra's expression darkened. The lunar trials. The Varkas Pack's ritual to choose a lunar. It's no mere contesteds, a binding of blood and magic. Your sons, Zyanya, are part of it. Zyanya's heart pounded. How they're just children. Navarra leaned forward. The trials draw on the Alpha's bloodline to strengthen the Pack's magic. If Toran's their father, as I suspect, Kelix and Zevran are keys to that power. The silver-haired woman Zovara likely will see them as threats. Kelix's eyes widened. Our father, Mama, you said he was gone. Zyanya's throat tightened. He was Kelix's eye. I kept you safe from him. Zevran touched her hand. Is he the blue-eyed wolf? Navarra answered before Zyanya could. Likely, Toran's driven by pride and the mate bond. He'll come for you all. Zyanya clenched her fists. I won't let him take them. Navarra's gaze was steady. Then you must understand the trials. They're ancient, tied to Pack magic. Zevran's visions suggest he's a conduit for it. Train him, and he may tip the balance. As the twins listened, wide-eyed Thalira approached, Erinda's back. He's wounded, but alive. Zyanya stood, relief flooding her. Take me to him, Navarra nodded. Rest tonight. Tomorrow, we plan. The trials are coming, and your sons are in their shadow. Eldermore's streets were empty as Torrhen's party rode in at noon, their cloaks billowing in the wind. Torrhen led, his blue eyes scanning every shadow. Silvara rode beside him, her expression unreadable, while Crooked Nose and Bren flanked, them nursing grudges from Zyanya's arrow. The villagers watched from windows, fear thick in the air. Torrhen dismounted at Zyanya's cottage, its door ajar, the hearth cold. He stepped inside, the scent of her and the boys overwhelming. A toy. Wolf lay by the fire, and he picked it up, his chest tightening. They were here, he said, voice low. Recently. Silvara entered, her nose wrinkling. She's gone. Run again, like the coward she is. Torrhen's glare silenced her. She's no coward. Search the village. Find out where they went. Crooked Nose returned with Marwyn, who stood defiant despite his age. Speak, old man, Torrhen said. Where's the woman with the twins? Marwyn met his gaze. Gone, left yesterday. You're chasing ghosts, Alpha. Torrhen's hand twitched toward his blade, but he stayed it. You're lying. I smell. Them here, Marwyn shrugged. Smell what you like. They're not yours to claim. Silvara stepped forward, her voice honeyed. We mean no harm, Elder. Tell us where they went, and we'll leave your village in peace. Marwyn spat. Peace. Varkus wolves don't know the word. Get out. Torrhen grabbed Marwyn's collar, lifting him. Tell me, or I burn this village to ash. A voice interrupted Rinder, limping from a wound, his leather patched with blood. Let him go, Torrhen. Your fight's with Zyanya, not Eldermore. Torrhen dropped Marwyn, turning to Erinder. You, the rogue. You're helping her, Erinder smirked. Maybe. Or maybe I just don't like bullies. Torrhen lunged, pinning Erinder against the wall. Where is she? Erinder coughed, defiant. Gone where you won't find her. Let me go, or you'll have a bigger problem. Silvara touched Torrhen's arm. Alpha, he's baiting you. We'll track her. The boy's scent is fresh. Torrhen released Erinder, who slumped but stood tall. You're a fool, Torrhen, Erinder said. Zyanya's stronger than you know. Torrhen ignored him, turning to his scouts. Follow the river path. They can't have gone far. As the party moved out, Silvara lingered, her eyes on Erinder. You'll regret helping her, she whispered. Erinder grinned. Try me. Torrhen rode ahead, the toy wolf in his pack, his resolve unshaken. Zyanya could run, but he would find her and his sons before the lunar trials began. The Mistvale camp was a haven of mist and lantern light. But Zyanya's heart pounded as she stood before Navarra's tent, her sons asleep in a nearby shelter. The elder's words about the lunar trials and Zevran's magic lingered, but a new threat loomed. Falira, the Mistvale sentry, had just returned from scouting, her face grim. Varkus wolves are at the valley's edge, Falira reported, her spear grounded. Torrhen's with them. They're demanding you and the boys. Zyanya's grip tightened on her dagger. How many? 6, including Torrhen, Falira said. They're armed, but they haven't attacked, yet. Navarra emerged, her grey braids catching the firelight. Torrhen won't leave empty-handed. Zyanya, he's driven by the mate, bond and pride. What's your choice? Zyanya's eyes flicked to the shelter where Kelix and Zevran slept. Won't let him take them. We'll fight if we must. Navarra's gaze was steady. Mistvale is strong, but small. A battle risks us all. If you go with him, you may control the terms. Zyanya's jaw clenched. Back to the Varkis pack. He'll cage us, or you'll outwit him, Navara said. The trials are coming. Use them to protect your sons. Before Zyanya could answer, Erinder limped into the firelight, his wounds bandaged but fresh. Torrens, not bluffing, he said. He's threatening to burn Eldamore if you don't show. Marwyn sent word, they're scared. Heart sank. Eldamore had sheltered her, and Marwyn had risked much. He's using the village against me. Erinder nodded. He knows you, Zyanya. Knows you won't let innocents suffer. Thalira shifted. What's your call? We can hold the pass, but not forever. Zyanya closed her eyes, the weight of her choice crushing. I'll go, with the boys. But I need your word. Never. Erinder, if he needs it, and watch for us. Navara placed a hand on her shoulder. You have it? The moon guides you, Zyanya. Zyanya woke the twins, their faces groggy but alert. We're going to the Varkis pack, she said, kneeling. Stay close to me, no matter what. Kelix's eyes blazed. The bad wolf's pack. I'll fight him. No fighting, Zyanya said firmly. You're brave, Kelix, but we're playing a smarter game, Severin. You two stay sharp. Severin nodded, clutching his toy wolf. The song's loud. Mama, it's angry. Zyanya hugged them, her resolve stealing. At dawn, she led them to the valley's edge, where Torin waited with Silvara Crookednose and Bren. His blue eyes locked on her, a storm of emotions flickering fury, longing, pride. Zyanya, Torin said, his voice low. You've run long enough. She stood tall, the twins behind her. I run to protect what's mine. What do you want, Toran? You, he said, stepping closer, and my sons. Kelix bristled, but Zyanya silenced him with a look. They're my sons. You lost any claim when I left. Torin's jaw tightened. Come willingly, or I burn. Eldamore, your choice. Silvara smirked, her silver hair glinting. A wise choice would be swift, run away. The pack awaits its alpha's will. Zyanya glared at her, then met Torin's gaze. We'll come, but harm my boys, and you'll regret it. Torin nodded, mounting his horse. Ride with me, the boys too. As they left Mistvale, Zyanya held Kelix and Zevrin close, her mind racing. The Varkis pack was a den of wolves, and she was walking into it. The Varkis stronghold loomed like a beast carved from cliff and timber, its gates flanked by iron spikes. Zyanya rode behind Torin, her arms around Kelix and Zevrin, who clung to her despite their bravado. The journey had been tense. Silvara's cold stares and the scout's murmurs setting Zyanya's nerves on edge. As they entered the courtyard, pack members, gathered warriors, elders, youths, their eyes sharp with curiosity and suspicion. A grizzled warrior, Orvik, stepped forward, his beard braided with bone. Alpha, who's this? And these pups? Toron dismounted, his presence commanding. Zyanya, my mate, and her sons Kelix and Zevrin. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. An elder, Vera, her face lined with age, frowned. Mate, she's dead, or so we mourned. What's this trickery? No trick, Torin said, his voice cutting through the noise. She lives, and she's returned, there, under my protection. So, dismounted, her smile thin. Returned, or dragged back. The pack deserves truth, Alpha. She abandoned us. Zyanya slid from the horse, shielding the twins. I left to survive. Judge me if you must, but my sons are innocent. Kelix glared at Silvara, We're not scared of you, so Berin tugged his sleeve, whispering, Kelix, don't. Silvara's eyes narrowed, but Toran raised a hand. Enough. Zyanya and the boys stay in the guest lodge. Orvik, see to it. Orvik nodded, leading them through the crowd. Whispers followed, some hostile, others curious. A young she-wolf. Clyra watched with wide eyes, her auburn hair tangled. They're brave, she muttered to her friend, facing Silvara like that. At the lodge's sturdy cabin, with furs and a hearth, Zyanya settled the twins. This is home for now, she said, unpacking. Stay inside unless I'm with you. Kelix crossed his arms. Why is everyone mad? We didn't do anything. Zyanya knelt. They're mad at me, not you. I left their alpha. It's complicated. Zevran's eyes were distant. The song's different here. It's heavy. Zyanya hugged him. Tell me if it changes, Zev. We'll figure it out. A knock interrupted Dorvik, with Clyra carrying a tray of bread and stew. Food, Orvik grunted. Alpha's orders. Clyra lingered, shy. I'm Clyra. If you need anything, I can help. Zyanya nodded. Thank you, Clyra. We'll manage. As they ate, Zyanya overheard Orvik outside, speaking to Vera. She's trouble, Vera said. Silvara's already spreading poison. The trials will be chaos. Zyanya's resolve hardened. The pack was a battlefield, and she needed allies. The Varka's training grounds were a sprawl of dirt and stone, ringed by warriors sparring under the midday sun. Zyanya stood at the edge, watching Kelix and Zevran explore the stronghold's inner walls. Toran had insisted they join pack activities, claiming it would ease tensions. Zyanya agreed reluctantly, keeping them in sight. Kelix darted toward a group of youths practicing with wooden swords, his eyes bright. Can I try? He asked a lanky boy. Drace. Drace sneered. You're the runaway's pup. Go play with toys. Kelix's fists clenched. I'm better than you. Let me prove it. Zyanya stepped forward, but Clyra appeared, her auburn hair bouncing. Give him a sword, Drace. Or are you scared? Drace flushed, tossing Kelix a practice blade. Fine. Don't cry when you lose. Kelix parried Drace's first swing, his movements clumsy but swift. The youths jeered, but Kelix held, his ground earning a grudging nod from Clyra. Not bad, pup, she said. Skfrin, meanwhile, sat by a stone wall, sketching in the dirt. His quiet drew Vera's attention, the elder approaching with a frown. What's this, boy? Ruined Zevran, startled. Just pictures. They come to me. Vera crouched, studying his mark swirls and lines resembling pack sigils. Old magic, she muttered. Dangerous. Who taught you? No one, Zevran said, shrinking. It's in my head. Zyanya joined them, her voice firm. He's a child, Vera. Leave him be. Vera stood, her eyes sharp. Children don't draw sigils of power. He's more than he seems. As Vera left, Silvara approached, her presence chilling. Trouble already, she purred. Your boys don't fit, Zyanya. They're weak links. Zyanya faced her. They're stronger than you think. Stay away from them. Silvara laughed. The trials will test that. I'll enjoy watching you fail. Kelix, victorious against Drace, ran to Zyanya. I won, Mama. Did you see? I did, she said, smiling. But no more fights without my say, all right. Zevran tugged her sleeve. The song's loud again. It's watching us. Zyanya scanned the grounds, spotting Toran observing from a balcony. His gaze met hers, intense and unreadable. She pulled the twins close. Let's go back. We've had enough for today. At the lodge, Clara visited, bringing herbs from Marwyn's recipes. The pack's split, she confided. Some like you, Zianya. Others, Silvara's got their ears. Zianya nodded. Keep listening, Clara. I need to know who's friend or foe. As night fell, Zianya tucked the twins in, Zevrin's sigils haunting her. The pack was a powder keg, and her sons were sparks. Torin's chambers were a cavern of stone and fur, lit by a roaring fire. He sat at a carved table, Kelix's bear and Zevrin's toy wolf before him. Zianya stood across, summoned after the twins' day on the grounds. Her amber eyes were wary, her stance defiant despite the weight of his gaze. You've raised them well, Toron said, his voice low. Kelix is bold, Zevrin, gifted. They're mine, aren't they? Zaytna. Jaw tightened. They're mine. You have no claim. Torin leaned forward, the mate bond pulsing faintly. I feel it, Zianya. Their blood calls to mine. Why hide them? To keep them safe, she said, her voice steel. From you, from this pack. Torin stood, circling the table. Safe, hiding in a village, suppressing their wolves. They're born for more. Kelix could lead, Vera says he has magic. Zianya stepped back. Don't twist this, Toran. You want control, not family. He stopped, his eyes softening. I want you back, all of you. The pack needs a Luna, and the boys need a father. She laughed bitterly. You lost that right when you ruled with fear. I won't let you use them. Toran picked up the bear, offering it. A gift, then, for Kel. Let me know them, Zianya. I'll protect them. She took the bear, her hand brushing his, the bond sparking. Protection, or pawns for your trials. His face hardened. The trials are pact law, but I'll keep them safe. Swear it, Zianya. Turned to leave. Your oaths mean nothing. Stay away from my sons. At the lodge, Kelix pounced on the bear. Where'd you get it, Mama? It's mine, from someone, Zianya said, watching Zevrin. Zev, you all right? Zevrin nodded, but his eyes were distant. He's trying to be nice, but the song says he's angry. Kelix frowned. Who? The blue-eyed wolf. Zianya hugged them. No more questions tonight. Sleep. Outside, Orvik stood guard, his expression unreadable. Zianya sensed his loyalty wavering, torn between Torin and her defiance. She needed to act before Torin's gifts turned her sons' hearts. Silvara's tent was a lair of ambition, its walls draped with furs and maps. She sat with Lysira, a coded message from the Mistveil rogues in hand. Zianya's return had ignited the pack, and Silvara's plan to eliminate her rivals was in motion. The rogues are ready, Lysira said, her dagger glinting. They'll strike during the trial's first test. A rogue attack Zianya and the boys won't survive. Silvara's eyes gleamed. Perfect. Torin will blame outsiders, and I'll console him. The trials will crown me Luna. Lysira hesitated. The boys, they're young. The pack might turn if they die. Silvara waved a hand. There. Threats. Torin's obsessed with them. If they live, he'll never choose me. A knock interrupted Clara, her face nervous. Beta, you called for me. Silvara smiled, predatory. Clara, you're close to Zianya. Tell me, does she trust you? Clara shifted. She's kind to me. Why? I need eyes in her lodge, Silvara said. Report her plans, her allies. Do this, and you'll rise in the pack. Lyra's eyes widened. Spy eye, I can't. Lysira stood, her dagger casual. You can, or you'll regret it. Clara backed away. I'll think on it. As she fled, Silvara turned to Lysira. Follow her. If she warns Zianya, silence her. Lysira nodded, slipping out. Silvara unrolled a map of the trial's grounds, marking ambush points. Zianya's defiance and the twins' presence were thorns she'd pluck, ensuring her path to Luna was clear. At the lodge, Zianya sensed the shift. Clara's visit was brief, her eyes troubled. Something's wrong, Zianya told Orvik outside. Silvara's moving. Orvik grunted. She's always scheming. Watch your back. Zianya nodded, her mind on Zevran's visions. The trials were a trap, and she needed to outmaneuver Silvara before it snapped shut. The Varkas Pack's ritual grounds were a vast clearing encircled by jagged stones, each etched with sigils that pulsed faintly under the dawn sky. Zianya stood at the edge, her bow slung across her back, her amber eyes scanning the gathered pack. The lunar trials had begun, a grueling contest to crown Tauran's Luna, and Zianya had entered not for power, but to shield Kelix and Zevran from the pack's schemes. The twins watched from a guarded platform, Kelix's fists clenched, Zevran's gaze distant. Tauran addressed the crowd from a raised dais, his black fur cloak billowing. The lunar trials test strength, cunning, and loyalty, he declared, his blue eyes lingering on Zianya. The first challenge: survive the Blackthorn maze. Reach the center, claim the sigil stone. Begin. Silvara, clad in leather armor, smirked at Zianya. You're out of your depth, run away. The maze eats the weak. Zianya met her gaze. Keep talking, Silvara. It'll make finding you easier. Clara, standing with Orvik near the twins, whispered, She's brave, but Silvara's ruthless. Orvik grunted. Brave or foolish? The maze is no game. The competitors, Zianya, Silvara, and 3 she-wolves named Ragnar, Vinna, and Lysir entered the maze, its thorny walls towering and shifting. Zianya moved silently, her senses sharp, recalling Navara's warning. The trials were tied to pack magic, and Zevran's visions suggested danger. She notched an arrow, wary of traps. Inside, Silvara signaled Lysira, her loyal shadow. The rogues are in place, Lysira murmured. They'll strike when Zianya's isolated. Eyes gleamed. Good. Make it look like an accident. No trace. Zianya heard rustling ahead and crouched, spotting Ragnar caught in a thorn trap. Help me, Ragnar gasped, blood trickling from her arm. Zianya cut her free, wary. Stay close. The maze is alive. Ragnar nodded, grateful. Why help me? We're rivals. You're not my enemy, Zianya said. Silvara is. They moved together, dodging shifting walls and spiked pits. Zianya's instincts screamed danger, and she paused, scenting smoke. Rogues, she whispered, pulling Ragnar behind a thorn wall. 3 rogues emerged, their eyes glinting with malice. The runaway, one growled. Silvara's coin spends well. Zianya loosed an arrow, felling the leader. Ragnar fought beside her, clawing a second rogue. The third fled, but Zianya tackled him, pinning his throat. Who sent you, Silvara? He choked. She wants you dead. Zianya knocked him out, her mind racing. She and Ragnar reached the maze's center, where a glowing sigil stone rested on a pedestal. Silvara was already there, her hand on the stone. Too late, Silvara taunted. I win. Zianya stepped forward. Not yet. Your rogues failed. Silvara's smile faltered, but she grabbed the stone, vanishing in a flash of light. Zianya and Ragnar followed, emerging at the clearing to cheers. Torrent's eyes narrowed as Zianya recounted the rogue attack, but Silvara denied it. Her voice honeyed. "Lies," Silvara said. "She's desperate to discredit me." Torrent silenced the crowd. The stones claimed. Silvara advances, but I'll investigate this attack. Zianya returned to the twins, Calix hugging her. "You were amazing, Mama." Zevran's eyes were troubled, the songs louder. "It's angry." Zianya held them close, glancing at Clyra, who avoided her gaze. Silvara's plot had failed, but the trials were far from over. The Varka's stronghold buzzed with post-trial tension. The pack debating Silvara's victory and Zianya's accusations. At the guest lodge, Zianya cleaned a cut on her arm, her mind. On the rogue's confession, Calix paced, his dark hair mussed, while Zevran sketched sigils by the hearth, his toy wolf beside him. "Mama, why didn't you win?" Calix demanded, kicking a chair. "You beat those bad wolves." Zianya sighed, bandaging her arm. "It's not about winning yet, Calix. I'm here to keep you safe." "But Silvara's mean," Calix said. "I saw her smiling when you got hurt. I want to fight her." Zevran looked up. "Calix, don't. The song says she's dangerous." Zianya knelt, gripping Calix's shoulders. "No fighting, Calix. You're brave, but this is my battle. Promise me you'll stay here." Calix's jaw set. "Fine, but I'm not scared." "A knock," interrupted Clyra, her auburn hair tangled, holding a basket of herbs. "From Vera," she said, nervous. "For your arm." Zianya took the basket, studying her. "Clyra, you've been quiet. Something on your mind?" Clyra hesitated. "I heard Silvara talking to Lysira. They mentioned rogues. I didn't know what to do." Zianya's eyes softened. "You're doing it now. Thank you. Stay close to Orvik. He's trustworthy." Nodded, leaving quickly. Calix watched her go, then slipped out the back door, ignoring Zianya's earlier warning. He headed to the training grounds, where the trial's next stage was being prepared. He spotted Silvara overseeing workers, her silver hair glinting. "You," Calix shouted, marching toward her. "You sent bad wolves after my mama." Sil turned, her smile cold. "Bold pup. Run back to your mother before you get hurt." Calix threw a rock, missing her. "You're a liar. I'll tell everyone." Lysira grabbed his arm, but Torrent appeared, his presence silencing the workers. "What's this?" he demanded, his blue eyes on Calix. Calix pointed at Silvara. "She's trying to kill Mama." "I heard it." Silvara laughed. "A child's tantrum, Alpha. He's confused." Torrent knelt, meeting Calix's gaze. "You're brave, boy, but accusations need proof. Go back to your lodge." Calix yanked free, running off, tears of frustration burning. Turan turned to Silvara. "If he's right, Silvara, you'll answer for it." Her smile didn't waver. "Of course, Alpha, I'm loyal." Calix returned to the lodge, finding Zianya waiting, her face stern. "Calix, you promised." "I had to," he cried. "She's bad, Mama." "I told the blue-eyed wolf." Zaki hugged him, her heart heavy. "You can't do that again. We need to be smart." Zevran tugged her sleeve. "He's right about Silvara. The song hates her." Zianya nodded, glancing at Orvik outside. Calix's rebellion had drawn Torrent's attention, but it also put them in Silvara's crosshairs. The Varkas ritual grounds were quiet at dusk. the pack resting before the trial's next test. Zianya led Zevran to a secluded grove, guided by Vera, who'd insisted on examining his sigils. Kelix stayed with Orvik, sulking after his outburst. Zianya's arm throbbed, but her focus was Zevran, whose visions grew stronger in the pack's heart. Vera knelt by a stream, her lined face serious. "Draw what you see, boy," she said, handing Zevran a stick. Zevran traced sigils in the dirt swell's lines, a wolf's head. "They come when the song's loud," he said, his voice small. Vera studied them, her breath catching. "These are binding runes, old as the pack. They tie blood to magic. Your wolf's a conduit." Zevran, Zianya's heart raced. "A conduit? For what?" "The lunar trials," Vera said. "They're not just a contest. They channel the Alpha's bloodline to strengthen the pack. Zevran's magic could sway them." Zevran's eyes widened. "I don't want to." "It's scary," Zianya hugged him. "You don't have to, Zev. We'll protect you," Vera stood, her voice low. "You can't hide him, Zianya. Silvara suspects his power. She'll use it or destroy it." As they spoke, a rustle broke the silence. Zianya drew her dagger, but it was Navara, emerging with Thalira. "I came as soon as I could," Navara said, her grey braids gleaming. "Erenders, with Mistveil, recovering. He sent me." Zianya relaxed slightly. "Navara, thank you. Zevran's magic. It's tied to the trials." Navara nodded, kneeling before Zevran. "Show me, child." Zevran drew again, and Navara's eyes darkened. "He's a seer, rare and powerful. The trials will test him, whether you enter or not." Zianya's jaw tightened. "I'm in to protect them, but Silvara's targeting us." Navara stood, then trained Zevran. "His magic can shield you." "I'll teach him control," they began. Navara guiding Zevran to focus his song. He closed his eyes, trembling, and a faint glow pulsed from his sigils. Zianya watched, awed and afraid. "Mama," Zevran gasped, opening his eyes. "I saw you in the trials, a trap fire and thorns." Zianya's blood chilled. "Where?" "Near the stones," he said. "Silvara's there." Vera exchanged a look with Navara. "The next test. She's planned another ambush." Zianya stood, resolute. "Then I'll be ready." "Navara, stay with Zevran. Vera, warn Toran." As they returned to the lodge, Kelix ran to Zevran. "What happened? You look weird." Zevran smiled weakly. "I did magic, Kelix. It's big." Zianya hugged them, glancing at Orvik, who'd overheard. "Keep this quiet," she told him. Orvik nodded. "Silvara's watching. Be careful, Zakin." Mind raced. Zevran's power was a weapon, but it painted a target on him. The guest lodge was a cocoon of warmth, its hearth crackling as Zianya sat with Navara and the twins. Kelix whittled a stick, restless, while Zevran practiced sigils under Navara's watchful eye. Vera had gone to warn Toran, and Orvik guarded the door, his loyalty to Zianya growing. Silvara's ambush loomed, and Zevran's vision of fire and thorns haunted Zianya. Navara traced Zevran's latest sigil, a spiral with claws. "This is a shield rune," she said. "Focus your song here, and it'll protect you." Zevran nodded, closing his eyes. "It's hard. The song wants to run." "Guide it," Navara said, gently. "Like a river, you're its master." Kelix looked up. "Wise, Zev. Get all the magic. I'm his twin." Navara smiled. "Your strength is different. Kelix, you're a leader. Zevran needs your heart to balance his mind. Kellex grinned, mollified. I'm the best guard, then. Zianya touched his hair. You are, but no more running off, all right? Kellex nodded, but his eyes narrowed. What's the next trial? You're worried, Mama. Zianya hesitated, then said, It's a hunt. I think, but I'll handle it. Navara met her gaze. Zevran's vision suggests a trap. Silvara's rogues will strike again. You need a counterplan. Zianya nodded, her voice low. I'll expose her if I can catch her allies. Torin can't ignore it. A knock interrupted Clyra, her face pale. I heard you're facing. Silvara again, she stammered. She told me to stay away from you, but I couldn't. Zianya stood, wary. What else did she say? Clyra swallowed. She asked if I'd spy on you. I said no, but Lycera's following me. Zianya's eyes softened. You're brave, Clyra. Stay here tonight. Orvik will protect you. Clyra nodded, trembling. I'm sorry, Zianya. I should have told you sooner. You told me now. Zianya said, That's enough. As Clyra settled by the fire, Navara resumed Zevran. Try the shield again, she said. Imagine protecting your mother. Zevran focused, and the sigil glowed, a pulse of warmth spreading. Zianya gasped, feeling a fleeting sense of safety. Zevran, you did it. He beamed, then yawned. I'm tired, Mama. Zianya tucked him in, Kellex beside him. Sleep, both of you. Tomorrow's big Navara stood to leave. I'll train him daily, she said. His magic's raw, but it'll grow. Zianya nodded. Thank you, Navara, for everything. Outside, Orvik lingered. The pack's restless, he said. Silvara's got Vera's ear, but she's wavering. Torin's digging into the rogue attack. Zianya's jaw tightened. Good, let him dig. We'll bury Torin's chambers were a storm of maps and shadows, his desk strewn with reports of rogue sightings. Vera stood before him, her face grim, while Orvik and Crookednose guarded the door. Zianya's accusations against Silvara gnawed at him, as did Kellex's defiance and Zevran's strange sigils. The mate bond with Zianya pulsed, a reminder of what he'd lost and found. Speak, Vera, Torrent said, his voice low. What's this about Silvara? Vera crossed her arms. Zianya's not lying. The rogues in the maze were no coincidence. Zevran's sigils show a trap in the next test. Silvara's name keeps surfacing, Torin's fist clenched. Silvara's my beta. She'd not betray me. Pride blinds you, Vera said. She wants to be Luna. Zianya and the boys threaten that. I saw Zevran's magic, it's real. Torin, he's your blood. Torin's eyes darkened. My blood. And you think Silvara's targeting them? I know she is, Vera said. Clyra overheard her plotting with Lycera. Check the rogue's trails. They'll lead to her. Turan dismissed her, his mind churning. He summoned Silvara, who entered with her usual grace, her silver hair braided tight. Alpha, she said. Bowing, you look troubled. Zianya claims you sent rogues, Torin said, watching her. Kellex accused you. Now Vera, explain. Silvara's smile didn't waver. Lies, Alpha. Zianya's desperate to weaken me. The boys are confused, and Vera's old, seeing shadows. Torin leaned forward. If you're lying, Silvara, the trials won't save you. Her eyes flickered, but she held his gaze. I'm loyal, always. As she left, Torin called Crookednose. Track the rogues. Find their source. If Silvara's involved, I want proof. Crooked Nose nodded, and Zianya Toran hesitated, the bond pulling. She's under my protection. Ensure no one harms her or the boys. At the lodge, Zianya sensed the shift. Orvik's loyalty was hers, Clara's fear was real, and Navara's guidance gave hope. But Toran's conflict was a wild card, and Silvara's trap was closing. The Varka's stronghold's shadows deepened as night cloaked the cliffs, the air heavy with the scent of pine and iron. Silvara stood in a secluded alcove near the pack's armory, her silver hair veiled by a dark hood. Lysira, her loyal shadow, had arranged a meeting with Vark, the leader of a rogue band hiding in the Mistvale outskirts. The rogue's failed ambush in the Blackthorn maze had cost Silvara leverage, but she wasn't finished. Toran's growing. Suspicion and Zianya's defiance demanded bolder moves. Vark emerged from the darkness, his scarred face lit by a flickering torch. He was broad, with matted hair and eyes like chipped flint. "You're late," he growled, his voice rough. "And your coin's light after that maze fiasco." Silvara's lips curled. "The maze was your failure, Vark. You had one job, killed the runaway. Yet here she stands, turning the pack against me." Vark spat. "She's a demon with a bow. Lost 2 of my best." "What's the new plan?" Silvara handed him a pouch of gold. "The Lunar Trial's next test is a hunt in the Ironwood. Competing. I want her sons Skelix and Zevran taken during the chaos. Hold them hostage. She'll break to save them." Vark weighed the pouch, grinning. "The pup's easy prey, but Toran's watching you. If he traces this to us, he won't," Silvara said, her voice cold. "Lysira's covered our tracks. Make it look like a rogue raid. No survivors to talk." Lysira, lurking nearby, stepped forward. "The boys are guarded by Orvik," she said. "He's loyal to Zianya now. You'll need a distraction." Vark nodded. "We'll hit the trial's spectators. Draw the warriors out. Where do we take the pups?" Silvara unrolled a map. "Here, the old quarry. It's hidden, defensible. Wait for my signula flare at dusk. I'll ensure Zianya's deep." In the Ironwood, Vark pocketed the map, and after, "You want M dead?" Silvara's eyes glinted. "Not yet. They're leverage. Toran's soft on them. If Zianya falls, I'll decide their fate." Vark grunted, vanishing into the night. Lysira watched him go, her dagger twitching. "He's greedy, Silvara, greedy. Rogues talk. Then you'll silence him when it's done," Silvara said, turning back to the stronghold. "Clara's still a problem. She's too close to Zianya." Lysira nodded. "She's scared, but loyal. I'll keep her quiet." Silvara paused, glancing at Toran's balcony, where a light burned. Toran's digging, Vera's whispering in his ear. "We move fast, Lysira. The trials crown me Luna, or we burn." At the guest lodge, Zianya sensed the shift. Clara had confessed Silvara's spying demand, and Orvik's loyalty was solid. But Zevran's visions of fire and thorns grew sharper. She tucked the twins into bed, Kelix clutching his carved bear, Zevran's toy wolf beside him. "Mama, when's the next fight?" Kelix asked, yawning. "You'll win, right?" Zianya smiled, brushing his hair. "It's a hunt, not a fight. I'll do my best." Zevran's eyes were distant, the songs angry. "Mama, it's close." Zianya kissed his forehead. "We'll face it together, Zev. Sleep now." Outside, Orvik stood guard, his face grim. "Silvara's been quiet," he said. "Too quiet." Zianya nodded. "She's planning something. Keep Clyra safe. She's our eyes." The ironwood was a forest of gnarled trees and mist, its paths treacherous under the midday sun. The lunar trial's second tester hunt for a sacred stag drew the pack to the ritual grounds, where Zianya prepared with Ragnar and Vinna, the remaining competitors. Silvara led the group, her silver hair braided tight, her confidence unshaken. Turan watched from a stone dais, Vera and Navara beside him, while Kelix and Zevrin sat with Clyra and Orvik among the spectators. Zianya notched an arrow, her senses sharp. Zevrin's vision of a trap gnawed at her, and Navara's training had strengthened his shield runes, but she felt exposed. "Stay alert," she told Ragnar, who nodded, her arms scarred from the maze. Silvara glanced back, smirking. "Keep up, run away. The stag waits for no one." Zianya ignored her, scanning the trees. The hunt began, the competitors spreading out. Zianya tracked hoofprints, her bow ready, but a distant scream halted her. Smoke rose from the spectator area, and chaos erupted. Rogues. Orvik bellowed, drawing his axe as Vark's band attacked. The pack warriors rallied, but the rogues were swift, targeting the platform where Kelix and Zevrin sat. Kelix grabbed Zevrin's hand. "Run, Zev." Clyra tried to shield them, but a rogue knocked her aside. Orvik fought fiercely, felling two, but Vark seized the twins, tossing them over his shoulders. "Got em," he roared, fleeing into the ironwood. Zianya heard the screams and sprinted back, her heart pounding. She reached the platform, finding Clyra dazed and Orvik bloodied. "Where are they?" she demanded. "Rogues took 'em," Orvik gasped. "East, toward the quarry." Zianya turned to Toran, who'd joined the fight. "Your pack's a trap, Toran. Silvara's behind this." Toran's eyes blazed. "Prove it, Zianya. I'll send scouts." "No time," she snapped, grabbing her bow. "I'm going." Navara stepped forward. "I'll go with you. Zevrin's magic may guide us." Erinder, recovered and newly arrived, joined them. "I know the quarry," he said. "Let's move." Silvara, returning from the hunt, feigned shock. "Rogues, how terrible." "Alpha, let me lead a rescue." Toran's jaw tightened. "Stay here, Silvera, guard the pack." Her smile flickered, but she obeyed. Vera watched her, whispering to Clyra, "Stay close, girl, she's poison." Zianya, Navara, and Erinder raced into the ironwood, following the rogue's trail. Zianya's mind was a storm of fear and fury, her sons' faces driving her forward. The old quarry was a maze of stone and shadow, its walls pitted from ancient mining. Zianya, Navara, and Erinder crouched at its edge, the rogue's camp visible below. Vark and his band 6 wolves, armed and alert, guarded Kelix and Zevrin, who were bound near a fire. Kelix glared defiantly, while Zevrin's eyes darted, his fingers tracing sigils in the dirt. Zianya's grip tightened on her bow. "They're alive," she whispered, relief warring with rage. "We need a plan." Erinder scanned the camp. 3 on watch, 3 resting. Vark's the big one. "Take him out, and the rest scatter." Navara nodded, her voice low. "Zevrin's drawing runes. He's trying to shield them. I'll guide his magic from here." Zianya met her gaze. "Can you reach him?" "I'll try," Navara said, closing her eyes. "Focus, Zevrin. Feel my voice." In the camp, Zevrin stiffened, his sigils glowing faintly. Kelix whispered, "What are you doing, Zev?" "Magic. Zevrin murmured. Mama's coming. Vark kicked Zevrin's hand. Stop that pup. No tricks. Zianya knocked an arrow, aiming for Vark. Erinda, flank left. I'll take the right. Navara signal. When Zevrin's ready, they moved silently, Zianya's heart pounding. She reached a ledge above the camp, spotting Vark pacing. She loosed her arrow, grazing his shoulder. He roared, and the rogues scrambled, drawing blades. Erinda charged, tackling a sentry. Zianya fired again, felling another. Navara's voice rose, guiding Zevrin. Now child, shield. Zevrin's runes flared, a pulse of light knocking Vark back. Kelix broke free, grabbing a rock and smashing a rogue's knee. Mama, he shouted. Zianya leaped down, cutting Zevrin's bonds. Stay behind me. Navara joined them, her staff raised, deflecting a rogue's strike. Erinda fought fiercely, his wounds forgotten. Vark rallied, lunging at Zianya, but Kelix threw his rock, hitting Vark's temple. The rogue staggered, and Zianya's dagger found his heart. The remaining rogues fled, and Zianya hugged her sons, tears burning. You're safe, she whispered. Zevrin clung to her. The song helped. Mama Kelix grinned, bloodied but proud. I fought too. Erinda panted, wiping his blade. Bold pups. Let's get out before more come. Navara led the way, her face grim. Silvara's behind this. We need proof. Zianya nodded, clutching the twins. The quarry was a victory, but the trials were a battlefield, and Silvara's shadow loomed. The Vark's stronghold was a hive of chaos, as Zianya returned with Kelix, Zevrin, Navara, and Erinda. The pack gathered in the courtyard, their faces a mix of relief and suspicion. Torin stood at the center, his blue eyes blazing as he saw the twins, bruised but alive. Silvara hovered nearby, her expression unreadable, while Vera, Orvik, and Clyra watched from the sidelines. Zianya stepped forward, her voice ringing. Your pack's rotten, Torin. Rogues took my sons, and Silvara paid them. Torin's jaw clenched. You accuse my beta again, Zianya. Where's your proof? Erin tossed Vark's pouch of gold at Torin's feet. Found this on their leader, Vark. Smells of Silvara's coin. Silvara laughed, her voice smooth. A pouch. Anyone could have filled it. These rogues lie to save their skins. Clyra stepped forward, trembling. It's true, Alpha. Heard Silvara and Lysira plotting. They wanted the boys gone. Lysira lunged at Clyra, but Orvik blocked her, his axe raised. Enough, Lysira. Speak or bleed. Torin's gaze locked on Silvara. Explain, Beta. Silvara's smile faltered. They're conspiring. Alpha Zianya's turned Clyra, Orvik, even Vera. She wants your throne. Vera scoffed. Lies. Torin Zeverin's sigils show Silvara's treachery. Check her tent, her maps, her messages. Torin nodded to Crooked Nose. Search it, now. Silvara's eyes widened, but she recovered. You'll find nothing, Alpha. I'm loyal. Torin turned to Zianya. Your sons are safe, but this ends here. No more accusations without evidence. Zianya's fists clenched. You're blind. Torin, she'll strike again. Kelix tugged her sleeve. Mama, tell him about Zev's magic. It saved us. Torin's eyes flicked to Zevrin, who shrank back. Magic, speak, boy. Zevrin's voice was small. I made a shield. Navara helped. Navara stepped forward. He's a seer, Alpha. His power's tied to the trials. Silvara fears it. Torin's face darkened. Enough. The trials continue tomorrow. Silvara, you're confined to your tent until Crooked Nose reports. Silvara bowed, her smile venomous. As you wish, Alpha. As the crowd dispersed, Zianya led the twins to the lodge, Navara and Erinda following. Clyra stayed with Orvik, her courage earning his nod. Vera lingered, whispering to Torin, trust Zianya or lose your pack. At the lodge, Zianya tucked the twins in, her heart heavy. You were so brave, she told them. Zevran yawned. The song's quiet now, Mama Kelix grinned. We beat M, right? Zianya smiled, but her eyes were on the door. So confinement was temporary, and Torin's fury was a spark in a dry forest. The guest lodge was a sanctuary of firelight and furs, its warmth a stark contrast to the pack's brewing storm. Zianya sat by the hearth, sharpening her dagger, while Kelix and Zevran slept, their faces peaceful despite the day's terror. Navara sipped tea, her grey braids loose, while Erinda cleaned his wounds, his leather creaking. Orvik stood outside. His loyalty now, Zianya's shield, and Clyra rested in a corner, exhausted but safe. Silvara's cornered, Navara said, her voice low. But cornered wolves are dangerous. Zianya nodded, her blade glinting. Torrance wavering, but he's stubborn. If Crooked Nose finds nothing, Silvara walks free. Erinda grunted, her tent's clean by now. Lycera's too sharp. We need to catch her in the act. Zianya's jaw tightened. The next trial's my chance. I'll expose her, protect my boys. Clyra stirred, her voice soft. I'm sorry, Zianya. I should have spoken sooner. You spoke when it mattered, Zianya said, her eyes kind. You're pack to us now. Clyra's eyes shone, and she nodded, curling up again. Navara set her tea down. Zevran's magic grows. I'll train him tomorrow, strengthen his shields. He's key to the trials. Zianya glanced at her sons. He's just a boy. I don't want him used. He's more, Navara said gently. His visions guide you. Trust them. Erinda stood, stretching. I'll scout Silvara's allies. She's got more than Lycera. The packs split Vera's with us, but others fear change. Zianya nodded. Go, and thank you, Erinda, for everything. He smirked. Don't get soft, Zianya. We're not done. As he left, Zianya turned to Navara. What's the next trial? Vera mentioned a hunt, but it's changed. A duel. Navara said, one-on-one, before the pack. Silvara's your likely opponent. She cheat. Zianya's resolve hardened. Then I'll be ready for Kelix, for Zevran. Outside, Orvik knocked softly. Crooked Nose is back. Found nothing in Silvara's tent. Zianya cursed, standing. She's slippery. But I'll end this. Navara's eyes were steady. You will. The moon's with you, Zianya. Zianya returned to her sons, watching them sleep. The trials were a crucible, Silvara, a viper, and Toron, a storm. But Zianya's love for her twins was a fire that would burn through it all. The Varkas, Pack's ritual grounds, thrummed with anticipation under a steel-grey sky, the air sharp with the scent of frost and blood. The Lunar Trial's second tester combat, Duel drew the pack to the stone circle, its sigils glowing faintly. Zianya stood at the arena's edge, her leather armor snug, her dagger and bow at her side. Kelix and Zevran watched from a guarded platform, flanked by Orvik and Clyra, their faces tense. Navara and Vera stood nearby, their eyes on Zianya, while Erinda scanned the crowd for threats. Torin presided from a raised dais, his blue eyes unreadable, Silvara at his side despite her confinement. Vera had announced the pairings Zianya Ferrisu Silfara, Ragnar versus Vina. The winner would advance to the final test. Zianya's resolve was iron. Silvara's rogue attack had failed, but her influence lingered, and Zevrin's visions of fire and thorns pointed to this duel. Toron raised a hand, silencing the crowd. "The lunar trials test our strength," he said, his voice carrying, "Today, combat proves your worth. Fight with honor. Begin." Zianya faced Silvara, who wielded twin daggers, her silver hair braided tight. "No rogues to save you now," Silvara taunted, circling. "You're nothing, run away." Zianya's grip tightened. On her dagger, "Your schemes failed, Silvera. I'm still here." The crowd roared as they clashed, Silvara's daggers flashing, Zianya's movements fluid. Zianya parried a strike, slashing Silvara's arm. Silvara hissed, retaliating with a kick that Zianya dodged, rolling to her feet. Kelix cheered, gripping the platform's edge. "Get her, Mama." Zevrin's eyes were distant, his fingers tracing runes. "The song's loud," he whispered to Clyra. "Something's wrong." Clyra frowned, glancing at Orvik. "Keep watch. Silvara's too calm." In the arena, Zianya landed a blow to Silvara's shoulder, drawing blood. Silvara staggered, her smile cold. "You're good," she said, panting. "But I don't need to win." Zianya paused, wary. "What's that mean?" Silvara laughed, dodging a strike. "You'll see." Lysira, hidden in the crowd, signaled a rogue archer perched in the trees. He aimed at Zianya, but Erinda spotted him, tackling the rogue before he could fire. The scuffle drew Orvik's attention, and he shielded the twins, axe raised. Torin stood, his voice booming. "Hold, what's this?" Erinda dragged the rogue into the arena, tossing him at Torin's feet. "Silvara's ally," he said, glaring at her, aimed at Zianya. Silvara's face paled, but she recovered. "Lies, Alpha. He's a rogue. Not mine." Zianya seized the moment, pinning Silvara to the ground, her dagger at her throat. "Confess," she growled. "You sent the rogues, planned the kidnapping." Silvara's eyes blazed, but the crowd's murmurs pressured her. "Did nothing," she spat. Torin approached, his face dark. "Zianya, stand down. The duel's over. You advance." Zianya released Silvara, sparing her life. "This isn't over," she whispered. Silvara stood, her smile venomous. "No, it's not." The crowd dispersed, Rangya defeating Vina in the other duel. Zianya returned to the twins, hugging them. "You were fierce, Mama," Kelix said. Zevrin clung to her. "The song warned me. I saw the archer." Zianya kissed his forehead, glancing at Navara. "Your training saved us." Navara nodded. "He's growing stronger." But Silvara's desperate. Now, Vera joined them, her face grim. Torin's investigating. Crooked Nose found rogue tracks leading to Silvara's tent, but no proof. Zianya's jaw tightened. "She's slippery. I'll end this in the final test." The guest lodge was a haven of firelight and furs, its warmth a shield against the pack's tension. Zianya sat by the hearth, cleaning her dagger, while Kelix and Zevrin played with carved toys, their laughter easing her heart. Navara sipped tea, guiding Zevrin's sigil practice, while Erinda and Orvik stood outside, ensuring no threats approached. Clyra, now a trusted ally, mended a cloak. her auburn hair falling over her face. A knock broke the quiet Tauren alone, his black cloak dusted with frost. Zianya stood, wary. "What do you want, Tauren, to talk?" he said, his blue eyes intense. Alone, Zianya glanced at Navara, who nodded. "Boys, come," Navara said, leading Kelix, Zevran, and Clyra to the back room. "Practice your runes, Zevran." Tauren stepped inside, closing the door. "You fought well today," he said, his voice low. "Silvara's cornered, thanks to you." Zianya crossed her arms. "She's still free. Your pack's blind to her." Tauren's jaw clenched. "I'm not blind. Crooked Nose is tracking her allies. But this isn't about Silvara." "Then what?" Zianya asked, her tone sharp. Tauren stepped closer, the mate bond pulsing. "You, Zianya, the boys. I want you back as my Luna, my mate. End the trials. Come home." Zianya laughed bitterly. "Home, this pack's a cage. You ruled with fear." "Tauren, I left to save my sons." His eyes softened. "I was wrong then, but I see them Kelix's fire, Zevran's gift. They're mine, Zianya. Let me be their father." "They're mine," she said, stepping back. "You want power, not family." Tauren gripped the hearth, his voice raw. "I want you. The bond never broke. I feel it, and so do you." Zianya's heart raced, the bond's pull undeniable. "You feel what serves you. I won't trade my son's freedom for your crown." He held out Kelix's carved bear. "For them, then let me prove I've changed. The trials are brutal, quit, and I'll protect you all." Zianya took the bear, her fingers brushing his, sparking the bond. "Your protection's a leash. I'll finish the trials for them." Tauren's face hardened. "Then you risk everything. Silvara is not your only enemy." He left, the door slamming. Zianya sank into a chair, the bear heavy in her hand. Navara returned, her eyes knowing. "He's torn. Zianya, use it." Zianya nodded, her resolve stealing. "I will, for Kelix and Zevran." Kelix peeked out, frowning. Was that the blue-eyed wolf? Why's he mad? Zianya hugged him. "He's confused, Kelix. But we're stronger." Zevran's voice was small. "The song says he's sad, Mama." Zianya kissed his forehead. "We'll fix this, Zev, together." Outside, Orvik exchanged a nod with Erenda Torrance. "Rattled," Orvik said. "Silvara's watching," Erenda grinned. "Good, let her squirm." The Varka's training grounds were a sprawl of dirt and stone, where pack youths sparred under Orvik's watchful eye. Kelix, restless after Tauren's visit, had begged to join them, and Zianya relented, keeping Zevran and Clyra close. Navara trained Zevran's sigils nearby, while Erenda scouted for Silvara's allies. Vera lingered, her eyes on the packs. Elders, who whispered about Zianya's defiance. Kelix wielded a wooden sword. Facing Drace, the lanky youth who'd mocked him before, ready to lose again. Kelix taunted, grinning. Drace sneered, "You're just the runaway's pup. No match for me." They clashed, Kelix's boldness outpacing Drace's skill. Zianya watched, proud but tense, her bow at her side. Clyra cheered, earning a smile from Kelix. Zevran paused his sigils, tugging Zianya's sleeve. "Kelix is mad, Mama. He heard the blue-eyed wolf last night." Zianya frowned. "What did he hear?" "Everything," Zevran said. "He doesn't like him." Before Zianya could respond, Kelix defeated Drace, earning claps from the youths. He ran to Zianya, beaming. "Did you see, Mama? I did, she said, ruffling his hair. You're fierce, Kelix. Torin approached, his presence silencing the youths. Well fought, boy, he said, kneeling. You've got a warrior's heart. Kelix glared, stepping back. I don't need you. Mama's all we need. Torin's face fell, but he stood. You're loyal, Kelix. That's good. But I'm your father. You're not. Kelix shouted, clutching his bear. You made Mama run. Zyanya pulled Kelix close. Enough, Kelix. Go to Zevrin. Kelix obeyed, tears burning. Torin met Zyanya's gaze. He hates me. You earned it, she said, her voice low. Leave him be. Torin nodded. Turning away, Vera joined Zyanya, her face grim. He's shaken, Zyanya. Kelix's words hit hard. Good, Zyanya said. He needs to face his past. Navarra called Zevran over, resuming his training. Clara whispered to Zyanya. With Lysira near the armory, they're planning something. Zyanya nodded. Tell Erinda, we'll watch them. At the lodge that night, Kelix was quiet, his anger spent. I'm sorry, Mama, he said, hugging her. He's not us. Zyanya kissed his forehead. You're my heart, Kelix. You did right. Zevrin yawned, his sigils glowing. The song likes Kelix's fire, Mama. Zyanya smiled, but her eyes were on the door. Torin's offer and Kelix's loyalty strengthened her, but Silvara's shadow loomed. The Varkas ritual grounds were shrouded in dawn mist, the pack preparing for the trial's final tester ritual duel. Zyanya trained alone, her bow and dagger honed, her mind on Zevrin's visions. Navarra had warned that his magic was volatile, and his latest sigils showed fire and blood. Kelix and Zevrin stayed at the lodge with Clara and Orvik, while Erinda and Vera sought proof of Silvara's treachery. Navarra joined Zyanya, her grey braids tight. Zevrin's restless, she said. His visions are sharper. He saw you. In the duel, surrounded by flames, Zyanya's heart raced. Silvara's trap. Likely, Navarra said. He wants to help, but his magic's dangerous. I'll train him today, keep him safe. Zyanya nodded, gripping her bow. Thank you, Navarra. He's everything. At the lodge, Zevrin drew sigils, his face pale. Kelix whittled, frowning. Zev, you look sick. What's wrong? The song's heavy, Zevrin said, his voice small. Mama's in danger. I saw fire. Kelix stood, gripping his bear. We'll help her, like in the quarry. Clara intervened, her voice gentle. You help by staying here, Kelix. Orvik's outside. Zevrin shook his head. I can do more. Navarra taught me shields. Orvik knocked, entering. Packs gathering. Silvara's Freeteran found no proof. Kelix cursed, earning a look from Clara. She's gonna hurt Mama. Zevrin stood, determined. I'll go to the grounds. My magic can protect her. Clara grabbed his arm. Zevrin, no. It's too risky. He pulled free, his eyes fierce. Mama needs me. Zevrin slipped out, Kelix following. Orvik and Clara chased them, but the twins reached the grounds, hiding in the crowd. Zyanya faced Ragnar in the duel. Silvara watching with Lysira, a flare hidden in her sleeve, as Zyanya parried Ronya's strike. Flames erupted. Silvara's rogues had ignited oil traps. The crowd panicked, and Zevrin stepped forward, his sigils glowing. Mama, he shouted, raising a shield rune. The light pulsed, deflecting flames from Zyanya, but Zevrin staggered, blood trickling from his nose. Kelix caught him, screaming. Zevzyanya abandoned the duel, rushing to them. Zevran, what did you do? He smiled weakly. Saved you, Mama. Navara arrived, her face grim. He overreached. His magic strained him. Toran halted the trial, his voice booming. Clear the grounds. Silvara, explain this. Silvara feigned shock. Rogues, Alpha, not me. Cyania cradled Zevran, glaring at her. You did this, Orvik and Erinda. Restrained Lysira, who'd drawn a dagger. Vera joined Toran, whispering, Zevran's sacrifice proves his power. Silvara's guilty. Cyania carried Zevran to the lodge, Navara healing him. Kelix clung to her, tears falling. He's gonna be okay, right? He will, Cyania said, her voice fierce. Silvara's trap had cost Zevran, but it lit a fire in her heart. The Varkis stronghold was a cauldron of rage, the pack demanding answers for the fiery ambush. Cyania sat by Zevran's bed in the lodge, his breathing steady but weak. Herbs had stabilized him, but his sacrifice weighed heavy. Kelix slept beside him, his bear clutched tight. Clyra and Orvik guarded the door, while Erinda and Vera rallied allies among the pack. Toran had called a tribunal, and Silvara faced scrutiny, her composure cracking. Navara touched Cyania's shoulder. He'll recover, but his magic needs rest. He saved you, Cyania. Cyania's eyes burned. At what cost? He's 6, Navara. This pack's poison. Clyra entered, her face pale. The tribunal's starting. Tyrone wants you there. Cyania nodded, kissing Zevran's forehead. Stay with them, Navara. Clyra, come with me. At the great hall, the pack crowded Toran on his bone throne. Silvara stood defiant, Lysira beside her, while Vera and Crooked Nose presented evidence. Erinda guarded the door, his eyes on rogue sympathizers. Toran's voice was steel. Silvara, you're accused of treason. Rogues attacked the trials, targeting Cyania's sons. Spiky Silvara's smile was cold. Accusations, Alpha, not proof. Cyania's turned the pack against me, using her brat's tricks. Cyania stepped forward, her voice ringing. Zevran nearly died saving me from your trap, Silvara. Your rogues lit the fires. Lysira sneered. Prove it, run away. Clyra, trembling, spoke. I saw Silvara with Vark, the rogue leader, near the armory. She gave him gold. The crowd murmured, and Toran's eyes narrowed. Vark's dead, Clyra. Any proof? Vera unrolled a map, marked with Silvara's hand. Found in Lysira's tent. It shows the quarry, the ambush sites. Her scents on it. Silvara's face paled. Planted. Cyania's allies framed me. Toran stood, his fury palpable. You've dodged every charge, Silvara, but magic exposed you. His sigils mark your guilt. Silvara laughed, desperate. A child's scribbles. You trust that over your beta. Cyania faced her. I trust my son. You're done, Silvera. Toran nodded to Orvik. Confine them. The pack will judge tomorrow. As Silvara and Lysira were dragged away, Vera whispered to Cyania, You've won this round, but the final test remains. Cyania returned to the lodge, finding Zevran awake, his eyes clear. Mama, did I help? She hugged him, tears falling. You saved us, Zev. Rest now. Kelix stirred, grinning. Told you we're tough, Mama. Cyania smiled, her resolve unbreakable. Silvara's betrayal was exposed, but the trial's final test and Toran's heart awaited. The Varkas pack's great hall was a cavern of flickering torches and restless wolves, the air thick with tension as the tribunal convened. At dawn, Zyania stood at the center, her amber eyes fierce, her sons safely tucked away in the guest lodge under Navara's care. Kelix and Zevran had begged to attend, but Zyania refused, fearing Silvara's venom. Orvik and Clyra flanked her, there, loyalty a shield, while Erinder watched the crowd for threats. Vera sat among the elders, her lined face stern, and Turan presided from his bone throne, his blue eyes conflicted. Silvara and Lysira stood bound, their defiance waning under the pack's scrutiny. Tauren raised a hand, silencing the murmurs. "The charge is treason," he said, his voice echoing. "Silvara, Lysira, you're accused of hiring rogues to kidnap Zyania's sons and disrupt the lunar trials. Zyania, speak your case." Zyania stepped forward, her voice steady. "Silvara's wanted me dead since I returned. She sent rogues to the Blackthorn Maze, then to the Ironwood to take Kelix and Zevran. Clyra heard her plot with Vark, and Vera found her map. Zevran's magic exposed her fire trap. She's a traitor to this pack." Silvara laughed, her silver hair glinting. "A mother's lies, Alpha. My loyalty's to you, not her brats or her schemes." Lysira sneered. "She's turned your pack against you, Tauren. Clyra's a liar, Vera's senile." Clyra trembled but spoke, her voice clear. "I heard you, Silvara, near the armory. You paid Vark to take the boys. I saw the gold." The crowd stirred, and Vera stood, holding the marked map. "This was in Lysira's tent," she said. "Silvara's scent, her handwriting. It details the quarry ambush." Silvara's eyes narrowed, planted. "Zyania's allies frame me to steal your favor, Alpha." Tauren's jaw clenched. "Enough, Zevran's sigils, magic you can't deny, showed your treachery. The pack saw his shield save Zyania. Zevran's name sparked whispers, and Zyania seized the moment. My son nearly died to protect me from her flames. The lunar trials are corrupt, Tauren. They're not about strength, they're a game to control your bloodline. Silvara wants power, not loyalty." A warrior, Orvik's friend Gavron, shouted, "She speaks truth. The trials have bloodied us for years." Silvara lunged forward, straining her bonds. "You dare challenge pack law? I'd make a better Luna than this runaway." Tauren stood, his voice thunder. "Silence. Zyania, you've turned half the pack. What's your aim?" Zyania met his gaze, the mate bond pulsing faintly. "To protect my sons, to end this madness. The trials threaten Kelix and Zevran, because they're your blood, Tauron. Silvara knows it, and she'll kill to stop them." The hall erupted. Elders arguing, warriors shouting. Vera raised her hands. "The trials are ancient, but flawed. Zevran's magic proves the bloodline's power. Zyania's right end this, Tauren." Silvara's face twisted. "You're weak, Alpha. You let her manipulate you." Tauren's eyes blazed. "Orvik, take them to the cells. The pack votes at dusk." As Silvara and Lysira were dragged away, Clyra clutched Zyania's arm. "You did it," she whispered. Zyania nodded, her heart heavy. "Not yet. The final test is coming." Erinder approached, his green eyes sharp. "The packs split, Zyania. Some back you, but others fear change. Watch your back." Zyania returned to the lodge, finding Navara with the twins. Kelix ran to her. "Did you win, Mama?" Zyania hugged him. "I spoke for us, Kelix. That's a start." Zevran's eyes were clear, The song's quiet. Mama, you're strong. Navarra smiled. You've shaken the pack, Zianya. Toran's listening. Zianya's resolve hardened. The tribunal was a victory, but the trials loomed, and Toran's heart was a battlefield. The Varkas stronghold's training grounds were quiet at dusk, the pack reeling from the tribunal. Zianya walked with Erinda along the cliffs, needing air after the hall's suffocation. Kelix and Zevran stayed with Navarra and Clyra at the lodge, Orvik guarding them. Vera had joined the elders to sway the vote against Silvara, but Zianya sensed a deeper storm. Erinda's silence was heavy, his green eyes haunted. You've been quiet, Zianya said, pausing by a jagged outcrop. What's on your mind? Erinda leaned against the stone, his leather creaking. You're close to winning, Zianya. The pack's turning, Silvara's done, but there's something you need to know. She crossed her arms, wary. Speak plainly, Erinda. We've no time for secrets. He sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. I'm not just a rogue. I was Varkas once, an elder like Vera. I fled 10 years ago, after I opposed the lunar trials. Zianya's eyes widened. An elder, why didn't you tell me? Shame, he said, his voice low. I challenged Toran's father, the old Alpha. He used the trials to control the pack, same as Toran. I saw the blood, the lies. I spoke out, and they branded me a traitor. I ran to save my skin. Zianya's jaw tightened. You could have warned me sooner. The trials are killing us. I tried, Erinda said, meeting her gaze. Helping you, the boys, it's my redemption. I know the trials' roots. They're tied to pack magic, to bloodlines like Zevran's. Toran's father twisted them to bind the pack to his will. Zianya's heart raced. Zevran's magic, it's why Silvara targeted him. Erinda nodded. And why Terenz? Torn. The bond with you, the boys, it's waking him up. But he's still Alpha, bound by tradition. Zianya glanced at the stronghold, where torches flickered. What do I do, Erinda? The final test is a duel with Toran. I can't kill him, he's their father. Don't, Erinda said. Expose the trial's corruption. Use Zevran's magic, Kelix's fire. The pack's ready to break. Up. Shout interrupted Clyra, running from the lodge. Zianya. Vera needs you. The vote's happening. Zianya turned to Erinda. Come with me. Your secret's safe, but we need you. He nodded, his resolve firm. I'm with you, Zianya. To the end. At the great hall, Vera stood with the elders. The pack gathered. Silvara's guilty, Vera declared. Banishment or death vote now. Gavron, Orvik's friend, raised his hand. Banishment. She's poison, but let her rot outside. The pack agreed, and Toran nodded, his face grim. And Lysera are banished at dawn. No return. Zianya met his gaze, the bond sparking. You did right, Toran. He looked away. The trials continue. Prepare for the final test. Zianya returned to the lodge, finding Kelix and Zevran awake. Is the bad lady gone? Kelix asked. Soon, Zianya said, hugging them. Sleep now. Tomorrow's big. Navarra whispered, Erinda's secret strengthens you. Use it. Zianya nodded, her mind on the duel. The trial's end was near, and she'd fight for her son's future. The ritual grounds were a crucible under a blood-red dawn, the stone circle pulsing with ancient magic. The lunar trial's final test, a ritual duel between Zianya and Toran drew. The pack in a tense ring. Kelix and Zevran stood with Navarra and Clyra, Orvik guarding them, while Vera and Erinda watched from the elders' bench. Silvara and Lysira, banished but not yet gone, lingered at the crowd's edge, their eyes venomous. Tauren stood in the circle, his black cloak discarded, his blade gleaming. "This ends today," he said, his voice heavy. "Zianya, face me. As Luna or fall." Zianya stepped forward, her dagger and bow ready, her leather armor scarred from battles. "I fight for my sons, Tauren, not your crown." The pack cheered, split between loyalty to Tauren and awe. For Zianya, Kelix shouted, "You've got this, Mama." Zevran's fingers traced sigils, his eyes distant. Navarra leaned to him. "Focus, Zevran. Your shield can help her." Zev nodded, his runes glowing faintly. "The song's strong, Navarra." Tauren struck first, his blade swift, but Zianya dodged, her dagger parrying. "You don't have to do this," she said, circling. "End the trials, Tauren. They're killing us." He swung again, his face torn. Their pact law. "I'm Alpha," Zianya ducked, slashing his arm. "You're their father." "Kelix, Zevran, they're your blood. Stop this madness." Turan hesitated, the bond pulsing. The crowd gasped as Zevran's sigils flared, a shield shimmering around Zianya. Silvara, at the edge, whispered to Lysira. Now Lysira tossed a vial into the circle, oil igniting in a ring of fire. The pack screamed, and Zevran's shield held, protecting Zianya. Tauren roared, "Silvara, you dare." Zianya seized the moment, tackling Tauren, her dagger at his throat. "Yield," she said. "For them." Tauren's eyes softened, the bond overwhelming. "I yield." The crowd fell silent, stunned. Vera stood, her voice clear. "The trials are broken." Zianya proves strength beyond combat. "End this, Tauren." Silvara screamed, lunging with a hidden blade, but Orvik intercepted, knocking. Her out Lysira fled, pursued by Erenda and Gavron. Tauren stood, helping Zianya up. "You're right," he said, his voice raw. "The trials end today." Kelix and Zevran ran to Zianya, hugging her. "You won, Mama." Kelix cheered. Zevran smiled. "The song's happy now." Zianya held them, tears falling. "We're free." Navarra and Clyra joined them, pride in their eyes. Vera addressed the pack. "Zianya's shown us truth. Rebuild or fall." Tauren nodded, his face heavy. "No more trials. The pack changes." The guest lodge was a sanctuary of warmth, its hearth crackling as Zianya tucked Kelix and Zevran into bed. The trial's end had shaken the pack, and Tauren's yield was a seismic shift. Navarra sat by the fire, her grey braids loose, while Clyra mended clothes, her courage now a quiet strength. Orvik stood outside, his loyalty unshaken, and Erenda had returned after chasing Lysira, who'd escaped into the wilds. Vera was with the elders, planning the pack's future, and Silvara was imprisoned. Awaiting exile, Zevran stirred, his amber eyes bright. "Mama, the song's different. It's big." Zianya knelt, touching his cheek. "What do you see, Zev?" He closed his eyes, sigils glowing faintly on his palms. "The stones, they're alive. The pack's magic hits waking up." Navarra leaned forward, her voice urgent. "Describe it, Zevran." "It's like a river," he said, trembling. "It flows through me, through the pack. But it's wild, like it's been asleep." Navarra's eyes widened. "The trials suppressed it. Your shield broke their hold. You're waking the pack's heart." Kelix sat up, frowning. "Wise, Zev. get all the magic. I helped too. Zianya hugged him. You did, Kelix. Your fire kept us strong. Clara smiled. You're both heroes. The pack's talking about you. A knock interrupted Vera, her face serious. Zianya, Zevran's magic stirred the elders. They want him tested to understand it. Zianya's jaw tightened. He's not a tool, Vera. He's my son. Vera nodded. I know. I'll protect him, but his power's tied to the pack's survival. Tauren's listening, but he's fragile. Zianya stood, resolute. I'll come. Zevran stays here. At the Elders' Council, Tauren sat, his face haggard. Magic, it's real, he said. What does it mean, Vera? It's the pack's soul, Vera said. The trials twisted it, but Zevran's awakening it. Zianya must guide him. Tauren met Zianya's gaze, the bond sparking. Will you stay? Help us. Zianya hesitated. For my sons, not you. They're my pack. He nodded, accepting. Then lead with me, as equals. Zianya returned to the lodge, finding Zevran awake, his sigils pulsing. Mama, I can help the pack. The song wants it. She hugged him, tears falling. You will, Zev. But you're my boy first. Kelix grinned, and I'll guard him. Navarra smiled. The pack's changing. Zianya, you've done it. The Varka stronghold's courtyard was a sea of wolves under a cold noon sun. The pack gathered for Silvara's banishment. Zianya stood with Kelix and Zevran, Navarra and Clara beside them, Orvik and Erinda guarding their flanks. Vera led the elders, and Tauren stood on a stone platform, his face carved with resolve. Silvara, bound and defiant, faced the pack. Lysira still missing after her escape. Tauren's voice carried. Silvara, you betrayed this pack. Rogues, ambushes, plots against my sons. Your banishment is law. Silvara laughed, her silver hair wild. Your sons. Those brats ruin everything. I'd have been Luna Tauren. Zianya stepped forward, her voice cold. You lost Silvara. You hurt my boys, and I'll never forget. Silvara's eyes blazed. You'll fall, run away. The pack's weak with you. Kelix shouted. You're the weak one. Mama beat you. Zevran's sigils glowed, a shield flickering. The song hates you, he said, his voice clear. The pack gasped, and Vera nodded. Zevran's magic speaks truth. Silvara's poison ends today. Turan signaled Orvik. Take her to the border. No return. Orvik and Gavron dragged Silvara away, her screams fading. The pack murmured, some relieved, others wary. Clara clutched Zianya's arm. It's over, right? Zianya nodded, but her eyes scanned the crowd. For now, Lysira's still out there. Erinda approached, his grin sharp. I'll hunt her, she won't hide long. Navarra turned to Zevran. Your shield was strong, child. The pack sees. You now. Tauren descended, facing Zianya. You've changed us, he said, his voice low. Stay, Zianya. Lead with me. She met his gaze, the bond warm but wary. I'll stay for my sons. Not your mate, Tauren, their mother. He nodded, accepting. That's enough, for now. Zianya led the twins back to the lodge, Kelix bouncing, Zevran thoughtful. We're safe, Mama, Zevran asked. Yes, she said, hugging them. We're home. Orvik and Clara followed their loyalty, a new pack. Vera and Navarra planned with the elders, and Erinda prepared to track Lysira. Silvara's downfall was a victory, But Zianya knew the pack's future, and her sons hung in the balance. The Varkas pack's stronghold stood bathed in the pale light of a late autumn dawn, its stone walls softened by a thin veil of frost. The lunar trials were over, Silvara banished, and the pack teetered on the edge of change. Zianya walked the courtyard, her breath visible in the crisp air, her amber eyes scanning for threats despite the newfound calm. Kelix and Zevrin trailed her, their laughter echoing as they tossed a carved wooden ball, their energy a stark contrast to the pack's uncertainty. Navara and Clyra followed, discussing Zevrin's growing magic, while Orvik and Erinda patrolled the perimeter, their loyalty to Zianya unshaken. Vera, now a key voice among the elders, met with Toron to plan the pack's future, but his offer to lead as equals lingered in Zianya's mind. A challenge she hadn't fully answered. Kelix kicked the ball, grinning. "Mama, watch this." He spun, catching it mid-air, earning a cheer from Zevrin. Zianya smiled, ruffling his hair. "You're getting quick, Kelix, but stay close." Zevrin tugged her sleeve, his eyes distant. "The song's happy, Mama, but it's watching. Something's still out there." Zianya knelt, her heart tightening. "What do you see, Zev?" He frowned, tracing a sigil in the dirt. A shadow, like a wolf, but sneaky. "It's not Silvara." Navara approached, her grey braids glinting. "Lysira," she said, her voice low. "She's still free, and she's Silvara's claw." Zevrin's visions are sharpening. Clyra, clutching a basket of herbs, nodded nervously. "I saw her tracks near the ironwood yesterday. Erinda's hunting her, but she's clever." Zianya stood, her jaw set. "We can't rest yet, Clyra. Tell Orvik to double the guards. Navara, keep training Zevrin. His magic's our shield." Orvik joined them, his axe slung across his back. "Pack's restless, Zianya. Some want you as Luna, others fear Torin's weakening. Gavron's rallying support, but we need you to speak." Zianya glanced at the twins, their faces bright despite the danger. "I'll speak, but not as Luna, for my sons, for the pack's future." A shout interrupted Vera, striding from the great hall. Zianya Torrens called a meeting. "The elders want a new council, one that includes you." Zianya's eyes narrowed. "He's pushing his offer." Kelix bounced the ball. "The blue-eyed wolf wants you to stay, Mama. Is he bad?" She knelt, meeting his gaze. "He's complicated, Kelix. But we're here for you and Zevrin, not him." Zevrin's sigil glowed faintly. "The song trusts you, Mama." Zianya hugged them, her resolve firm. "Let's go. Time to face the pack." At the great hall, Torin stood, his black cloak discarded, his blue eyes heavy with responsibility. "The trials are dead," he declared, the pack listening. "Zianya's shown us truth. We rebuild together." "Zianya, will you join the council?" The crowd murmured, some cheering, others skeptical. Zianya stepped forward, her voice clear. "I'll join, but not as your mate Toron. As a mother, for my sons and this pack." Toron nodded, accepting. "Then lead with us. Vera, Orvik, Gavron form the council." As the pack dispersed, Erinda approached, his face grim. "Lysira, tracks lead to Mistvale. She's not alone." Zianya's heart raced. "We'll find her. The pack's new dawn won't fall to shadows." The ironwood forest was a labyrinth of twisted branches and mist, its silence broken only by the crunch of leaves under Erinda's boots. He tracked Lysira's trail with Gavron, The warriors' loyalty now split between Tauren and Zayanya. Back at the stronghold, Zayanya trained with Orvik in the courtyard, her bow and dagger sharp, while Navara guided Zevran's sigil practice in the lodge. Kelix sparred with Clyra, his wooden sword flashing, his defiance a mirror of Zayanya's. Vera met with the elders, cementing the new council, while Tauren patrolled the borders, his faith in Zayanya growing but tempered by the pack's fragility. Erinder paused, spotting a broken twig. Lysira's close, he whispered to Gavron. She's got rogues 3, maybe 4. Gavron gripped his axe. She's Silvara's echo, wants blood for her banishment. Erinder nodded, his green eyes sharp. Zayanya's her target. The twins, too. We need to warn them. They hurried back, reaching the stronghold by dusk. Zayanya met them at the gate, her face tense. What did you find? Lysira's in the ironwood, Erinder said, panting. She's gathered rogues, planning something. Kelix, overhearing, ran up. Let me help, Mama. I can fight. Zayanya knelt, gripping his shoulders. You're brave, Kelix, but you stay with Zevran. Protect him. Zevran appeared, his toy wolf clutched tight. The song saw her, Mama. A lady with a scar, hiding in trees. Zayanya's heart sank. Lysira, Navara, can Zevran track her? Navara nodded, joining them. His visions are precise now. Zevran, focus, show us. Zevran closed his eyes, his sigils glowing. She's near a cave with bad wolves. They have knives. Orvik cursed. The old bear cave, defensible, close to the stronghold. Tauren approached, his cloak billowing. Lysira, he asked, his voice low. Zayanya nodded. She's after us. Zevran saw her in the ironwood. Tauren's eyes darkened. I'll lead a party. Orvik, Gavron, with me. Zayanya stepped forward. I'm coming. She targeted my sons. Tiran hesitated, the bond sparking. You're needed here, Zayanya. The pack trusts you, she glared. My boys come first. Clyra, Navara, guard them. Clyra nodded, her auburn hair tied back. We'll keep them safe. Navara took Zevran's hand. Focus on your shield. Zev, it'll protect the lodge. Zayanya joined Tauren, Erinder, and Gavron, heading into the ironwood. The cave loomed, its entrance dark. Lysira stood inside, flanked by 4 rogues, her dagger glinting. Welcome, runaway, Lysira sneered. Silvara's gone, but I'll finish her work. Zayanya notched an arrow. You failed once, Lysira. Stand down. Lysira laughed, lunging. Tauren blocked her, his blade flashing, while Zayanya and Erinder fought the rogues. Gavron tackled. A third, his axe, brutal. Lysira slashed Tauren's arm, but Zayanya's arrow found her shoulder, pinning her to the cave wall. Yield, Zayanya growled, her dagger ready. Lysira spat, bloodied. You'll never be Luna. The pack's mine. Tauren bound her, his face grim. You're done, Lysira, they returned. Lysira in chains. Zayanya hugged her sons, relief flooding her. You're safe, she whispered. Kelix grinned. You beat her, Mama. Severin's eyes were clear. The songs calm now. The Varkas training grounds buzzed with activity, the pack adapting to the new council's reforms. Zayanya watched Kelix spar with Drace, the lanky youth now respectful after Kelix's defiance. Zevran sat with Navara, his sigils stronger, while Clyra helped Vera distribute supplies. Orvik trained warriors nearby, his loyalty a cornerstone, and Erinda scouted for rogue remnants. Torin met with the elders, his leadership steadier, though the bond with Zianya remained a quiet storm. Kelix parried Drace's strike, grinning. "You're slow, Drace." Drace laughed, blocking. "You're cocky, pup. Good," though Zianya smiled, but her eyes scanned for threats. Lysira's capture hadn't ended the unease. Rogue stragglers haunted the borders. Navara approached, her face serious. "Zeverin's visions are quiet, but he's drained. His magic's growing too fast." Zianya nodded, worried. "He needs rest." Kelix toothed, "They've been through enough." Kelix ran over, sweating. "Mama, I'm ready for more. Let me patrol with Orvik." She knelt, her voice firm. "You're brave, Kelix, but you're 6. Stay here, train," he scowled. "I'm not a baby. I helped in the quarry." Zeverin joined them, his toy wolf clutched Kelix. "The song says stay." "Something's coming," Kelix frowned. "Your song's always gloomy, Zev." Navara touched Zeverin's shoulder. "He's right, Kelix. Listen to him." A shout interrupted Gavrin, running from the gate. Rogues, small band, attacking the north border. Zianya stood, her bow ready. "Orvik, with me." "Clyra, take the boys to the lodge." Kelix grabbed her sleeve. "Mama, let me come. I can fight." Zeverin's eyes widened. "No, Kelix. The song sees blood." Zianya hugged them. "Stay with Clyra. I'll be back." Kelix sulked, but obeyed. Following Clyra, Zianya, Orvik, and Gavron joined Torin and Erinda at the border, where 6 rogues fought fiercely. Zianya's arrows felled 2. Torin's blade 3, and Orvik's axe the last. Torin panted, bloodied. Lysira's stragglers, they're desperate. Zianya nodded, her eyes sharp. "They're testing us. The pack's still fragile." Back at the lodge, Kelix slipped out, ignoring Clyra's call. He hid near the training grounds, watching warriors return. Zeverin found him worried. "Kelix, you promised Mama." "I'm not scared," Kelix said, clutching his bear. "Prove I'm strong." A rogue emerged, a straggler from the attack, lunging at Kelix. Zeverin's sigils flared, shielding them, and Kelix threw his bear, stunning the rogue. Clyra tackled him, pinning him until Orvik arrived. Zianya returned, furious. "Kelix, you could have died." He hung his head. "I wanted to help, Mama." She hugged him, tears falling. "Your courage is enough. Stay with us." Zeverin smiled. "We're a team, Kelix." The great hall was a fortress of stone and firelight. The pack gathered for the council's first meeting. Zianya stood with Vera and Orvik, her role as a council member official, though she refused the title of Luna. Kelix and Zeverin sat with Clyra, their faces bright, while Navara guided Zeverin's magic from the sidelines. Erinda and Gavrin guarded the doors, alert for rogue threats. Torin stood at the head, his black cloak replaced by a simple tunic, his blue eyes steady but vulnerable. "The pack's changing," Torin said, his voice clear. "The trials are gone. Zianya, Vera, Orvik, Gavaranyor, the council. We rebuild trust, strength, unity." An elder Tharik stood, skeptical. "You yield too much. Alpha Zianya's an outsider. Her sons stir trouble." Zianya faced him, her voice firm. "I'm here for my sons, Tharik, and for a pack that doesn't bleed for tradition. Judge me by my actions." Vera nodded. She ended Silvara's treachery. "Zeverin's magic saved us. She's pack." Kelix whispered to Clyra. Mama's tougher than them all. Zevrin's sigils glowed faintly. The song likes her voice. Toron met Cyanya's gaze, the bond warm. She's right. We've clung to old ways too long. I failed you all, chasing power. Cyanya showed me that. The crowd murmured, some nodding, others wary. Orvik spoke, his voice gruff. I followed Toron, but Cyanya's earned my axe. She fights for us. Gavron raised a fist. For the twins, for the pack. The hall cheered, the tide turning. Turan approached Cyanya. After, his voice low. You've changed me, Cyanya. I want to be their father, not just alpha. She crossed her arms. Earn it, Toron. They need a father, not a king. He nodded, his eyes soft. I'll try, for them, for you, Clyra interrupted, nervous. Erinder's back. He found rogue tracks, but no Lysira. Cyanya's jaw tightened. She's a ghost. We'll find her. At the lodge, Cyanya tucked the twins in. Kelix yawned. Is the blue-eyed wolf better now? He's trying, Cyanya said, kissing his forehead. Sleep, Kelix. Zevran smiled. The song trusts. Him, Mama. A little Navara lingered, her eyes knowing. You're reshaping the pack, Cyanya. Toron's heart is next. The Varka's stronghold's ritual grounds were transformed, the stone circle now a place of unity, not combat. Cyanya led a ceremony to honor the pack's new path, her sons at her side. Kelix carried a torch, Zevrin a carved sigil, their presence a symbol of hope. Navara and Vera blessed the stones, their voices weaving old magic into new promises. Orvik and Gavron stood guard, their loyalty a foundation, while Clyra helped villagers prepare offerings, bread, furs, herbs. Erinder scouted the borders, still hunting Lysira, and Toron stood with Cyanya. His role as Alpha redefined, Cyanya addressed the pack, her voice clear. We've bled for tradition, lost for pride. Today, we build for our children, our future. Elect raised his torch for the pack. Zevrin's sigils glowed, a shield enveloping the circle. The song's happy, he said, smiling. The pack cheered, their voices rising. Vera stepped forward, her lined face proud. Zevrin's magic binds us. Cyanya's strength leads us. Turan spoke, his voice steady. I was wrong to cling to the trials. Cyanya, Kelix, Zevrin, you're our heart. I'll lead with you, not above you. An elder, Thurek nodded, his skepticism gone. You've proven it, Alpha. One of us, Clyra hugged Cyanya, tears falling. You did it. The pack's whole. Orvik grunted, smiling. Took a runaway to show us. Erinder returned, his face grim. Lysira's gone, tracks cold. But I'll keep looking. Cyanya nodded. Thank you, Erinder. We're ready if she returns. At the lodge, Cyanya tucked the twins in, their faces peaceful. Kelix yawned. We're home, Mama. Yes, she said, her heart full. This is our pack. Zevrin's eyes sparkled. The song says we're safe. Navara smiled from the door. You've forged a new path, Cyanya. The pack's yours. Cyanya looked out, seeing Toran by the fire, his gaze on her. The bond pulsed, not a chain, but a choice. She'd lead, not as Luna, but as a mother, a warrior, a heart. The pack was whole, but Lysira's shadow lingered, a whisper of future battles.